Welcome, brave souls, to another spine-chilling episode where we delve into the darkest corners of Florida's haunted history. Tonight, we explore the eerie tales of 25 haunted schools across the Sunshine State, where the whispers of past students and faculty still echo through the halls. From abandoned institutions to active campuses, these locations have witnessed unexplained phenomena that continue to baffle and terrify. So, dim the lights, gather your courage, and join us as we uncover the ghostly legends of Florida's most haunted schools. Annie Lytle Elementary School in Jacksonville, often referred to as the Devil's School, stands as a decaying monument to both history and horror. Closed and abandoned since the 1970s, the building's crumbling walls and shattered windows conceal stories that continue to haunt the imagination of the city's residents. Despite years of neglect, the school has never truly been forgotten, and its reputation as one of Jacksonville's most haunted locations has only grown stronger with time. Visitors who dare to explore its hallways often leave shaken, reporting encounters that defy logic and explanation. The legends surrounding Annie Lytle Elementary are as dark as they are numerous. One of the most persistent tales speaks of a former principal, a figure whose cruel methods and sinister appetite for control have been exaggerated into whispers of cannibalism, though no evidence exists to confirm such extreme acts. The story has become woven into the school's haunted lore, symbolizing the deep fears that linger in abandoned spaces. Similarly, a janitor is rumored to have performed unspeakable acts in the school's basement, supposedly boiling students alive. While these tales are likely fabrications or exaggerations, they reflect the collective unease with the school's grim past, amplifying the sense of dread that permeates the property. Visitors to Annie Lytle Elementary often report strange sounds and sightings that seem to confirm its haunted reputation. Children's laughter is frequently heard echoing through empty classrooms, carrying with it an uncanny sense of both innocence and menace. Footsteps can be felt along the rotting floors. Yet, when intruders investigate, the halls remain empty. Shadowy figures are glimpsed at the edges of vision, appearing briefly before vanishing into walls or around corners. Some have even claimed to see a spectral figure pacing the hallways at night, its face obscured by shadows, moving as if still fulfilling duties long abandoned. The physical state of the school contributes to its eerie atmosphere. Hallways are littered with broken desks, toppled chairs, and faded artwork that once celebrated learning and growth. The air is thick with dust, carrying a faint scent of mildew and decay. Windows are either cracked or missing, allowing wind to whistle through the building, creating a chorus of sounds that some interpret as whispers or cries. The remnants of lockers, still lined up along the walls, rattle inexplicably, as if moved by unseen hands. Every corner and shadow seems to harbor a memory, an echo of past students and staff that refuses to fade. Explorers who brave the site often describe a heavy, almost oppressive feeling upon entering. Many report that the temperature drops dramatically in certain areas, a cold so intense it chills to the bone. Others sense a weight on their chest, a suffocating presence that seems to press in from the walls themselves. Electronic equipment frequently malfunctions, cameras fail to capture images properly, and flashlights flicker without cause. Some paranormal investigators suggest that these phenomena may be residual energy traces of strong emotional events or traumatic experiences imprinted on the building itself. Despite its fearsome reputation, Annie Lytle Elementary draws a mix of curiosity seekers, urban explorers, and paranormal enthusiasts. Many come armed with cameras, audio recorders, and EMF detectors, hoping to capture evidence of the supernatural. Nighttime visits are particularly popular, as the darkness amplifies the sense of isolation and vulnerability. Those who have spent extended periods inside often speak of unexplainable experiences. Doors slamming without reason, shadows moving independently, and distant whispers that seem to respond to questions. The combination of documented legends and first-hand encounters has cemented the school's status as a hotspot for paranormal activity. Some theorists propose that the school's haunted reputation stems not from actual malevolent spirits, but from the collective fears and imagination of the community. Abandoned buildings naturally evoke unease, and tales of cruelty and tragedy amplify that fear, creating a feedback loop where every creaking floorboard and whispering wind seems sinister. Yet, the consistency of experiences reported by independent visitors lends weight to the possibility that something beyond the ordinary lingers within the walls of Annie Lytle Elementary. Over the decades, the building has captured the attention of writers, historians, and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Its legend has been retold in local folklore, blogs, and ghost hunting forums, ensuring that even those who have never visited are familiar with the stories of its haunted halls. Some local residents claim to have seen lights flicker in the building at night or heard laughter when passing nearby, reinforcing the idea that the school is not entirely abandoned in a spiritual sense. What makes Annie Lytle Elementary particularly unsettling is the blend of childhood innocence with horror. Classrooms, once filled with the laughter and chatter of students, now echo with ghostly sounds that imitate those very moments, twisted into something eerie and unnatural. The juxtaposition of learning and terror, of memory and decay, gives the school its unique place in Jacksonville's haunted landscape. Each visit, whether for exploration or investigation, carries the weight of history and the thrill of encountering the unknown. Ultimately, Annie Lytle Elementary remains a testament to the power of legend and the human fascination with the unexplained. Its empty halls, crumbling walls, and persistent tales of shadowy figures and disembodied laughter create an atmosphere that is both chilling and captivating. For those who enter, the school offers a glimpse into a world where past and present intertwine, where stories of cruelty, tragedy, and the supernatural converge. Whether one believes in the ghostly apparitions or sees them as echoes of imagination and fear, there is no denying that Annie Lytle Elementary continues to hold a mysterious and haunting presence in Jacksonville. Popash School, once a modest but lively educational institution in Wauchula, Florida, has long been the heart of both local memory and lingering mystery. Established decades ago, the school served generations of students, offering a place of learning, laughter, and community gatherings. Its classrooms echoed with the sounds of chalk on blackboards, the shuffle of feet in hallways, and the lively chatter of children at recess. For years, Popash School was more than just a building. It was a cornerstone of the community, a place where memories were formed and lives were shaped. However, in 2008, the school was abandoned, and shortly afterward, the decision was made to demolish the building. Despite the physical erasure of Popash School, the land it once occupied refused to fall silent. Locals began reporting strange phenomena, claiming that the very essence of the school lingered, and that echoes of its past remained stubbornly present. Perhaps it was the weight of countless memories, or perhaps the spirits of former students were truly unwilling to leave. Whatever the cause, the site became a focal point for whispers of haunting and supernatural activity. Witnesses describe a range of eerie experiences at the former site of Popash School. Many report hearing the unmistakable sounds of children playing, even when no one is present. Footsteps scampering across invisible playgrounds, faint laughter drifting in the wind, and the occasional echo of a bell marking the end of a class period all contribute to the unsettling atmosphere. These auditory phenomena often appear most vividly at dusk, when shadows lengthen and the fading light casts the land in an otherworldly glow. Locals who walk near the area often feel as though they are being observed, sensing a presence just beyond the edge of vision. Some paranormal enthusiasts suggest that the playful sounds are the lingering energy of the students themselves. Unlike more malevolent hauntings, these manifestations seem imbued with innocence, resembling echoes of childhood rather than threats or warnings. The laughter, the fleeting footfalls, and the sound of games being played in empty space suggest spirits engaged in the same carefree activities they once enjoyed in life. Yet, even in their playfulness, there is an eerie quality, an unshakable sense that these children are not entirely of this world. Others have reported more visual encounters at the site. Shadowy figures dart across open fields where playgrounds once stood, appearing only briefly before fading into thin air. Some claim to see the vague outlines of children in familiar school attire, running toward an invisible horizon or skipping along imaginary sidewalks. These apparitions are rarely menacing, but their sudden appearances and disappearances leave a lasting impression. A reminder that some part of Popash School endures beyond its physical walls. The land itself seems to hold memories of its past. Even without the building, visitors frequently sense cold spots or sudden drops in temperature, particularly near the areas where classrooms and playgrounds once stood. Winds moving through the empty space carry whispers that seem to mimic the sounds of a bustling school day. Investigators with recording equipment occasionally capture unexplained audio phenomena, distant voices, giggles, and fleeting footsteps that cannot be attributed to any natural source. These occurrences have fueled speculation that Popash School's spirit remains tied to the location, unwilling or unable to move on. Local lore surrounding Popash School is rich with anecdotal accounts. Parents who grew up attending the school have shared stories of hearing laughter or playful shouting while walking past the site years after the demolition. Neighbors report glimpsing small figures at the periphery of their vision, only for them to vanish when attention is drawn. Such accounts have created a mix of fear, fascination, and respect for the location, making it both a place of paranormal curiosity and a somber reminder of the school's former presence. Some historians and paranormal theorists suggest that the intensity of the haunting may stem from the collective energy and emotional investment of decades of students and teachers. A school is not merely a building. It is a vessel for experiences, emotions, and memories. Each day spent learning, laughing, and forming bonds leaves an imprint. And when a school is abandoned or demolished, those imprints may manifest in ways that seem supernatural. In the case of Popash School, the sounds of children at play, the footsteps in empty fields, and the fleeting shadows may all be echoes of a life once fully lived, lingering, because the place was once so full of energy and spirit. Despite the demolition, Popash School continues to captivate the imagination of locals and paranormal enthusiasts alike. It serves as a poignant reminder that places of strong emotional significance can carry echoes beyond their physical existence. For those who approach the site with respect, there is a sense of connection to the past, a glimpse of a world that once was, where laughter and learning shaped the daily rhythm of life. Visitors are advised to tread carefully, not out of fear of harm, but out of reverence for the lingering presence of those who once called the school their own. In essence, the haunting of Popash School is less a story of terror and more a testament to enduring memory. The laughter of children, the fleeting glimpses of ghostly figures, and the whispers of footsteps all serve as reminders that life leaves an imprint that cannot always be erased. Even in absence, the site continues to tell a story of youthful energy and lingering attachment, of spirits that remain drawn to the place that defined so many of their lives. Forest Park Head Start School, located in Jacksonville, Florida, has long been a subject of local whispers and unsettling tales. Built in 1954, the school served generations of children, providing an environment of learning, play, and community. Over the decades, its classrooms were filled with the laughter of children, the shuffle of feet along the hallways, and the hum of teachers guiding young minds. Yet, despite these ordinary and joyful beginnings, Forest Park gradually acquired a reputation that set it apart, a reputation steeped in eerie occurrences and ghostly encounters that have made it a staple of Jacksonville folklore. For years, students and staff alike have reported strange phenomena within the school's walls. Footsteps echoing through empty hallways, doors opening and closing without cause, and the faint sound of laughter drifting from vacant classrooms have all been noted by those who have experienced them firsthand. These occurrences are particularly pronounced after school hours, when the building is quiet and shadows lengthen in the corridors. Some witnesses insist that the sounds are unmistakably those of children, suggesting that the spirits of former students may remain tied to the building, replaying echoes of their past lives. The reports of apparitions at Forest Park, Head Start, are as chilling as they are varied. Several individuals have claimed to see the fleeting image of a child in the corner of a classroom, vanishing the moment attention is directed. Teachers returning to the building after hours have described feeling an unseen presence, a sense of being watched by eyes that are not there. Custodial staff have also recounted moments when chairs seemed to shift on their own, and classroom lights flickered despite functioning electrical systems. These unexplained events have led many to conclude that the school is not merely the site of past learning, but also a locus of residual energy, where memories and emotions from decades of occupancy linger in spectral form. Local legend provides further layers to the school's haunted reputation. Stories circulate about children who never left the building in spirit, whose playful echoes are said to haunt the hallways. Some narratives claim that former students continue to reenact everyday routines, such as skipping down corridors or whispering secrets in empty classrooms. Others tell of a teacher who passed away in the school decades ago, whose presence is occasionally felt in the lingering warmth of a hand on a shoulder, or the soft guiding voice heard when no one else is around. Though these accounts are anecdotal, they contribute to the rich tapestry of lore that envelops Forest Park Head Start. The school's architecture and layout also seem to amplify the eerie atmosphere. Long, narrow hallways with high ceilings create an echo chamber effect, making ordinary sounds appear distorted and otherworldly. Faded murals, peeling paint, and abandoned classroom equipment add to the sense of decay and neglect, intensifying the perception of a lingering presence. These environmental factors, combined with the building's history, make Forest Park a uniquely unsettling location for those sensitive to the supernatural. Paranormal enthusiasts who have investigated Forest Park Head Start often bring equipment designed to capture evidence of the unexplained. EMF detectors, audio recorders, and infrared cameras frequently register anomalies within the building. Some investigators have recorded unexplained voices, soft footsteps, or fleeting shadows moving across rooms where no one is present. Others describe moments when their electronic devices malfunctioned inexplicably, adding to the sense that the school is a place where the ordinary laws of physics and perception may be disrupted. Despite tour, perhaps because of its haunted reputation, Forest Park has become a site of fascination for both locals and visitors. Urban explorers, ghost hunters, and folklore enthusiasts are drawn to the school, eager to experience its eerie phenomena firsthand. While some approach it with skepticism, others are convinced that the school's paranormal activity is a manifestation of the strong emotional energy accumulated over decades. Children's laughter, the anxieties of first-day jitters, the joy of learning, and the sorrow of departure may all leave subtle imprints that manifest as ghostly echoes. Accounts from the community also suggest a unique blend of fear and affection for the school. While many residents are wary of lingering too long near the property, others speak of the site with a sense of nostalgia, recalling their own childhood experiences within its walls. The duality of these reactions, simultaneous fascination and trepidation, underscores the complex way in which Forest Park Head Start occupies a place in local consciousness. The school is at once a historical landmark, a memory repository, and a haunted locale, where the past continues to intersect with the present in subtle but undeniable ways. The haunting tales of Forest Park Head Start offer insight into how memory, emotion, and environment can converge to create an enduring sense of the supernatural. Whether one interprets the experiences as genuine paranormal activity or as manifestations of the mind, as response to abandoned and decaying spaces, the impact of these stories on the local community is real. They serve as cautionary tales, conversation starters, and points of fascination for those drawn to the mysteries of the unseen world. Even today, years after its closure, visitors to the site continue to report strange phenomena. The echoes of children at play, the fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures, and the soft, unexplained sounds that drift through the night create an atmosphere thick with history and mystery. Forest Park Head Start School stands as a testament to the persistence of memory, the weight of emotional energy, and the human tendency to sense the lingering presence of those who came before. Panama Grammar School in Panama City, Florida, holds a unique place in the history of Bay County. Opened in 1914, it was the first modern public school in the area, a symbol of progress and the promise of education for generations of children. Yet, despite its role as a cornerstone of the community, the building would eventually fall into disrepair, giving rise to stories that blurred the line between history and the supernatural. After the school's closure, the structure was largely abandoned. Its halls silent where once there had been activity and excitement. Nature slowly began reclaiming the property. Weeds sprouted through cracks in the pavement, and the once bright paint began to peel and fade. Windows cracked, doors warped, and the familiar warmth of the building transformed into an atmosphere of desolation. It was during this period of neglect that local legends began to take root. Residents and explorers started reporting strange occurrences within the abandoned school, giving rise to its reputation as one of Panama City's haunted locations. Visitors to the site often describe a sense of unease upon approaching the school. The long-forgotten facade, with its broken windows and sagging roof, appears almost frozen in time, as though waiting for the children who once filled its classrooms to return. Some witnesses claim that stepping onto the grounds is enough to feel the presence of unseen eyes watching. A subtle pressure in the air that signals something beyond the ordinary. Even before entering, many have noted the eerie quiet that envelops the building, broken only by the occasional creak of weathered wood or the whistle of wind through shattered glass. Inside, the atmosphere grows even more unsettling. Hallways, once brightly lit and bustling, are now dark corridors lined with peeling paint and the remnants of abandoned lockers. Floorboards groan underfoot, and unexplained drafts sweep through empty classrooms, often carrying faint, indistinct whispers. Visitors have reported hearing footsteps that do not match their own movements, as if someone or something follows them unseen. Some claim to catch glimpses of shadowy figures at the edges of vision, fleeting shapes that vanish when attention is focused directly on them. These visual and auditory phenomena have fueled speculation that the spirits of former students, teachers, or even staff members may linger, replaying fragments of daily life from decades past. Among the most commonly reported experiences are the sounds of children's laughter and voices echoing through the empty rooms. Unlike sinister hauntings, these auditory manifestations carry a strange mixture of nostalgia and unease. The laughter is often described as faint and distant, yet unmistakably human, as though the children are playing just out of reach. Some witnesses report hearing the murmur of conversations or the rattle of desks, even when the building is completely unoccupied. These sounds evoke memories of the school's vibrant past, creating a connection between the living and those who may still inhabit the space in spirit. Paranormal investigators who have visited Panama Grammar School frequently note anomalies in their recordings. EMF detectors spike without explanation. Cameras capture fleeting shadows or lights that do not correspond to any physical source, and audio devices occasionally pick up voices or footsteps that cannot be accounted for. While skeptics often attribute these phenomena to natural causes, structural settling, wind, or auditory pareidolia, the consistency of reports across multiple visitors lends credibility to the idea that the building may be more than simply abandoned. There is a sense that the school retains a portion of the emotional energy it once contained, a residual imprint of the countless children who passed through its halls. The stories surrounding Panama Grammar School are as much a part of its identity as its historical significance. Local folklore tells of students who never truly left, their spirits tied to the place where they learned, played, and formed memories. Teachers are said to linger as well, overseeing the empty classrooms in spectral form, guiding lessons that will never conclude. Even passersby who have not entered the building sometimes report hearing faint sounds, children calling out names, the echo of footsteps, or the distant peal of a bell marking the end of a class. These tales have become embedded in the community's consciousness, making the school a touchstone for both history and legend. Despite its state of decay, Panama Grammar School continues to attract visitors. Urban explorers, ghost hunters, and curious locals are drawn to the site, eager to experience its chilling reputation firsthand. Many approach with caution, mindful of the potential dangers posed by crumbling infrastructure. Yet, the allure is undeniable. The opportunity to witness or sense the lingering echoes of a bygone era, to step into a place where history and the supernatural intertwine. For those who enter, the experience is often intense, leaving a lasting impression even after leaving the premises. The haunting of Panama Grammar School is a reminder of how places can retain energy long after their original purpose has ended. The sounds, shadows, and sensations reported by visitors suggest that the building is more than a collection of brick and mortar. It is a vessel for memory and emotion. In a sense, the school lives on through these echoes, a bridge between past and present, between the living and the unseen. St. Benedict the Moore School, nestled in the historic Lincolnville district of St. Augustine, Florida, carries with it a deep sense of history and a haunting presence that has intrigued locals and visitors alike. Established as a Black Catholic primary school, it served generations of children, providing both education and a sense of community in a time when opportunities were limited for African American families. For decades, the building's hallways echoed with the sounds of laughter, learning, and the rhythm of daily school life. Students hurried between classrooms, teachers guided lessons with care, and the schoolyard buzzed with the energy of children at play. Yet, as vibrant as its past was, the school eventually closed its doors, leaving behind a building that would slowly take on an aura of mystery and the supernatural. After its closure, the structure fell into a quiet desolation, its once lively corridors and classrooms empty and still. The passage of time left its mark on the building. Paint peeled from the walls, windows grew dusty and cracked, and the schoolyard became overgrown with weeds. However, the silence of the abandoned school was not complete. Locals began reporting strange experiences, sparking stories that the spirits of former students and staff might still linger, replaying fragments of their lives in spectral form. These reports soon solidified St. Benedict the Moore School's reputation as a haunted site, a place where history and the supernatural seemed intertwined. Visitors to the former school frequently describe a sense of unease upon entering or even approaching the property. The exterior, though faded, retains its historic charm, but there is an undeniable heaviness in the air, a subtle tension, as though the building itself is aware of those who tread its grounds. Shadows stretch unnaturally along the walls, and unexplained cold spots have been noted by those who spend time inside. Many report hearing faint footsteps echoing through hallways, the rhythmic tap of shoes that do not belong to the living, or the low murmur of voices that carry no identifiable source. Often, these experiences are concentrated in areas where classrooms and administrative offices once thrived, suggesting that the spirits may be tied to specific rooms or routines. One of the most common phenomena reported at St. Benedict the Moore School is the sound of children's voices. Unlike darker or more menacing hauntings, these sounds carry a certain innocence, a nostalgic echo of youth and learning. Yet the effect on visitors is disquieting. Hearing the joyful sounds of children in an abandoned building evokes a mix of sorrow, wonder, and unease. Some believe these echoes are residual energy recordings of the school's active past that linger in the walls long after the last students departed. Apparitions have also been reported within the building. Shadowy figures flit across classrooms or stand silently at the ends of hallways, disappearing when approached. Some visitors claim to see the faint outlines of children in uniform, moving as if engaged in their lessons, while others have caught glimpses of staff figures appearing and vanishing, their presence reminiscent of attentive teachers or caretakers. These visual manifestations often coincide with the sounds of footsteps or whispers, creating a layered, immersive haunting that can feel startlingly real. Those who have spent extended time in the school often describe a sense of being watched or guided, as if the spirits are curious about visitors, observing without malice. The school's location within the Lincolnville district contributes to its mysterious aura. The neighborhood itself is steeped in history, and its streets carry the stories of generations who have lived, worked, and grown there. The combination of cultural heritage, historical significance, and the emotional weight of decades of student life seems to enhance the sense of lingering energy within the school. Some paranormal theorists suggest that the intensity of the hauntings may stem from the profound connections formed within the building, where education, care, and community created strong emotional imprints. Investigators who have studied St. Benedict the Moore School report a variety of anomalies. EMF readings often spike in areas where apparitions are reported, and audio equipment occasionally picks up faint, unexplained sounds, soft footsteps, whispers, or distant laughter. Cameras have captured fleeting shadows or movements that cannot be attributed to any physical source, while skeptics often point to natural explanations, such as structural settling or auditory illusions. The consistency of experiences among multiple witnesses lends weight to the idea that the building may host residual energies or even conscious spirits. Despite, or perhaps because of its haunted reputation, St. Benedict the Moore School continues to draw attention. Urban explorers, paranormal enthusiasts, and local historians are all drawn to the site, eager to experience its atmosphere firsthand. For those who enter with respect, the school offers a unique connection to both history and the unexplained. The echoes of past students and teachers create a hauntingly immersive experience, where memory and spirit converge, allowing visitors to glimpse the lives that once animated the school. The laughter, footsteps, and voices that continue to echo through the abandoned building suggest that places imbued with strong emotional significance may retain traces of life long after their physical function has ended. The school stands as both a historical landmark and a spectral presence, where the past persists in unexpected and sometimes unnerving ways. Hialeah Miami Lakes High School, located in the bustling city of Hialeah, Florida, has earned a reputation that extends far beyond its academics and extracurricular programs. While the school is known for fostering education and community involvement, its theater has become a focal point for stories of the paranormal. For years, students, teachers, and visitors have reported strange phenomena that defy explanation, giving rise to the legend of a ghost affectionately, or sometimes fearfully known as Fred. The theater itself is a central hub for school activities, hosting plays, musical performances, and assemblies. During the day, it hums with energy, filled with the voices of students rehearsing lines or tuning instruments. But when night falls and the building quiets, the atmosphere changes dramatically. Many who have stayed late for practices or technical work have reported sudden drops in temperature, the kind that makes skin crawl despite the air conditioning being off. Along with these cold spots, unexplained lights have flickered on and off, sometimes illuminating the stage in sudden bursts, other times casting eerie shadows across empty rows of seats. It is in these dim and silent hours that Fred's presence is most strongly felt. While some sightings are fleeting, a shadow darting across the floor, a flicker of movement in the corner of one's eye, others are more direct, with individuals claiming to see Fred standing still, watching them as if observing the activities of the theater from beyond the veil. These encounters have sparked both fear and fascination, with students dubbing him the theater's eternal caretaker. The auditory phenomena associated with Fred are perhaps the most unsettling. Many students have reported hearing music emanating from the theater when no instruments are playing. The sound is often described as a soft piano or faint orchestral notes, drifting through empty corridors and across vacant seats. Sometimes, it seems to follow individuals as they move about the stage or auditorium. Footsteps echo in empty hallways, doors creak open and shut on their own, and equipment that should remain off or unplugged occasionally powers up without explanation. These occurrences, repeated over years, have cemented Fred's presence in local legend and made the theater a topic of fascination among students and paranormal enthusiasts alike. The story of Fred is steeped in ambiguity, which only fuels its intrigue. No records exist that definitively identify who Fred was, how he died, or why he might linger in the theater. Some speculate he was a former janitor or stagehand who spent countless hours maintaining the theater and could not bear to leave. Others suggest he may have been a performer or patron with a tragic story, whose spirit remains tethered to the stage where he experienced joy or sorrow. Whatever his origins, the consistency of sightings and experiences suggests that Fred is more than a product of imagination or coincidence. Teachers and staff who have worked late hours in the theater often share similar accounts. Lights flicker without electrical explanation, props move slightly, and objects seem to disappear only to reappear in unexpected places. Many who have spent time alone on stage report the sensation of being observed, an invisible presence that is simultaneously protective and unsettling. Some performers even claim that Fred assists them during rehearsals, subtly nudging objects back into place or ensuring the stage is ready. Whether these interactions are real or perceived, they contribute to the lore of the theater and reinforce Fred's place in the school as supernatural narrative. Students, naturally curious and often drawn to stories of the unexplained, have embraced the legend with both reverence and daring. Overnight rehearsals, late-night tech setups, and secretive trips to the theater are often accompanied by whispers of Fred's presence. Some attempt to communicate with him, leaving notes or small offerings backstage, while others try to provoke a response, only to be met with flickering lights or mysterious sounds. These experiences become rites of passage for many, blending the thrill of fear with the intrigue of school history and urban legend. Paranormal investigators who have explored Hialeah Miami Lakes High School corroborate some of these reports. EMF meters register unusual spikes in certain areas of the theater. Audio recorders capture unexplained sounds, and cameras occasionally detect fleeting shadows. While skeptics argue that these occurrences could be attributed to electrical issues, the age of the theater, or psychological suggestion, the sheer volume of consistent experiences makes it difficult to dismiss entirely. The phenomenon of Fred has become woven into the school's identity, a mysterious yet accepted presence in the fabric of student life. The theater of Hialeah Miami Lakes High School serves as more than just a stage for performances. It has become a living repository of stories, both human and spectral. Fred, whether a lingering spirit or a product of collective imagination, continues to shape the experiences of those who enter. The sounds, lights, and apparitions create a bridge between past and present, reminding students that history, emotion, and memory often leave unseen traces in the places we inhabit. For those who visit the theater after hours, the sensation is palpable. A chill runs down the spine. The air feels heavy with anticipation, and every creak of the floor or whisper of the wind carries the weight of stories untold. Fred is more than a ghost. He is a symbol of the theater's history, its energy, and the people who brought it to life. Students leave the theater with lingering curiosity, stories to share, and a sense that some part of the past still watches over them. Indian River Community College, located in Fort Pierce, Florida, is known for its vibrant campus life, academic programs, and cultural activities. Among its many facilities, the college theater has gained an eerie reputation that has fascinated students, faculty, and visitors alike. The theater, a hub for performances, rehearsals, and student projects, has been the center of numerous reports of unexplained phenomena. Central to these accounts is the presence of a tall, pale blue figure that seems to inhabit the theater, particularly around the broom closet on the left side of the stage. Those who have encountered this spectral figure describe it as unnervingly tall, with a pale blue hue that distinguishes it from ordinary shadows. The figure is often observed standing silently, partially obscured by the doorway of the broom closet, as if keeping watch over the theater or lingering near its old tools and props. Some witnesses claim that the figure seems aware of their presence, vanishing or moving subtly when approached. Its appearance is fleeting, yet memorable, leaving a lasting impression on those who see it. Alongside visual sightings, many have reported sensations that defy logical explanation. Gusts of wind are felt in parts of the theater that should remain still, often coinciding with a sudden drop in temperature. Cold chills crawl along the spine, giving a sense of being watched even when the theater is empty. Students rehearsing lines or handling stage equipment have recounted sudden, unexplained breezes brushing against their skin, accompanied by the feeling of invisible eyes following their every move. These occurrences, while subtle, create a powerful and persistent sense of unease that lingers long after the encounter. The theater's layout seems to amplify these experiences. The broom closet, a small and unassuming space on the left side of the stage, has become a focal point of the haunting. Those who have ventured near it report hearing faint noises, shuffling footsteps, the sound of objects being moved, and occasional whispers. The combination of tight quarters, dim lighting, and echoing acoustics can make ordinary sounds feel more ominous. Yet the consistency of reports over time suggests something more than mere imagination. Witnesses often describe a sudden sense of pressure or tension in the air when near the closet, as though the figure itself exerts an unseen presence. The origin of the pale blue figure remains a mystery. Some speculate it may be the spirit of a former theater employee or student who had a deep connection to the stage and its operations. Others suggest that it could be a residual presence, a form of energy left behind by someone who spent countless hours preparing for performances, moving props, or maintaining the theater. Whatever the case, the figure has become an indelible part of the theater's identity, blending the historical and emotional significance of the space with the supernatural. Accounts of interactions with the figure vary widely. Some students report a sense of calm or protection when the presence is near, as if it quietly observes and ensures the theater remains undisturbed. Others feel a more unsettling energy, a pressing awareness that draws attention to the corners of the stage or the shadows within the room. Faculty members who have stayed late for rehearsals or technical work often corroborate student reports, noting the same cold spots, gusts of wind, and fleeting glimpses of a tall, bluish figure. The repeated nature of these experiences suggests that the theater is a focal point for unexplained activity. Beyond the immediate theater space, the story of the haunting has become a part of campus culture. Students share experiences and stories, often blending first-hand accounts with folklore that grows richer over time. Newcomers are warned about the broom closet, and some brave individuals intentionally venture near it to see if they can encounter the mysterious figure themselves. These experiences, while frightening, are also a source of curiosity and excitement, creating a unique bond between the students and the theater's history. Paranormal enthusiasts and investigators who have visited the theater report measurable anomalies as well. EMF detectors often spike in areas where sightings occur, temperature readings show localized drops, and audio equipment occasionally picks up unexplained sounds, including whispers or shuffling that cannot be attributed to any human source. Cameras sometimes capture fleeting shadows or indistinct shapes near the broom closet, further fueling speculation about the theater's supernatural activity. While skeptics point to architectural quirks, drafts, or psychological factors, the repeated nature of these phenomena over years reinforces the theater's haunted reputation. The presence of the pale blue figure has had a lasting impact on those who have encountered it. Students often describe leaving the theater with a heightened sense of awareness, an odd mix of awe and apprehension, and a story to share that blurs the line between the natural and the supernatural. Some performers claim that, in a strange way, the figure has influenced rehearsals or performances, as if quietly guiding or observing them. Whether protective, indifferent, or restless, the entity seems tied to the theater in a way that transcends ordinary explanation. The haunting of Indian River Community College's theater serves as a reminder that spaces imbued with human energy, emotion, and history can continue to resonate long after their primary use has ended. The tall, pale blue figure in the broom closet represents both the mysteries of the past and the unseen echoes that linger in familiar places. Its presence invites curiosity, respect, and a cautious fascination for all who enter, turning the theater into a site where history, memory, and the supernatural converge. Plant Hall at the University of Tampa, an iconic structure with Moorish Revival architecture, dominates the campus with its turrets and minarets, a lasting symbol of the city's history. Originally constructed in 1891 as the Tampa Bay Hotel by railroad magnate Henry B. Plant, the building has long been associated with opulence, grandeur, and an air of mystery. While it now serves as the centerpiece of the University of Tampa, its storied past and lingering presence of Henry Plant himself have led many to believe that the building is haunted. Over the years, students, faculty, and visitors have reported a series of inexplicable experiences, ranging from whispers in empty hallways to apparitions on the grand staircases, giving rise to the enduring legend of the Brown Man. Henry Plant was a man of vision and influence, shaping not only the building that bears his name, but also the development of Tampa as a major port and railroad hub. When he died in 1899, he left behind a legacy of wealth, power, and, some say, an indelible presence in the hotel he so meticulously designed. It is this presence that is believed to linger in Plant Hall, occasionally making itself known to those who walk its halls. Visitors report an odd sense of being observed, a subtle pressure in the air, or sudden chills that seem to follow them through the expansive corridors. The phenomenon is often most pronounced in the evenings when the building is quiet. Yet these encounters are not limited to any particular time, occurring unpredictably and leaving witnesses with a mixture of awe and unease. One of the most commonly reported occurrences is the sound of footsteps echoing across the grand hallways and the intricate marble floors. These steps often belong to no visible person, appearing when the building is largely empty. Students who stay late to study in the library or staff working after hours have described hearing the sound of someone pacing deliberately, the rhythm of footsteps rising and falling as if tracing the hallways in careful inspection. Some have even claimed to hear footsteps on the grand staircases, as though Plant himself is walking through the very spaces he once frequented. These experiences create a sense that the building is alive in a way that goes beyond its architecture, almost as if the spirit of its founder continues to oversee the operations of Plant Hall and the university. Whispers are another frequent phenomenon reported by those in Plant Hall. These are not loud or clearly articulated. Rather, they are faint, almost imperceptible voices that seem to emanate from empty classrooms, hallways, or corners where no one is present. Students have described hearing soft, hushed tones that grow louder when they approach a particular section of the building, only to vanish upon closer inspection. These whispers are sometimes interpreted as fragments of conversation, murmurs of advice, or warnings from a past long gone. Some believe that they are Henry Plant's way of communicating, a lingering echo of a man who shaped his surroundings and whose presence refuses to fade. The apparition, known as the Brown Man, adds an even more tangible element to the legend. Witnesses describe seeing a tall, well-dressed figure in period attire, often appearing near windows, staircases, or the upper floors of the building. The figure is said to exude a sense of authority and calm, as though observing the university with protective intent. Some students have recounted encounters where they glimpsed the apparition from the corner of their eye, only to find it vanish when they turned to face it. Others have claimed to see it fully, standing silently and watching before slowly fading away. While the experiences are varied, the consistency of sightings over decades has cemented the belief that Henry Plant as spirit still walks the halls of his former hotel. Chills, cold spots, and sudden drops in temperature are often reported in areas associated with these apparitions. These sensations are particularly intense near the turrets, staircases, and the upper floors, where Plant may have once spent time. Some witnesses have even described the feeling of being watched, an almost tactile sense that a presence is nearby even when no visual confirmation is possible. These unexplained occurrences contribute to the haunting ambience, drawing curiosity from both skeptics and believers alike. The history of Plant Hall provides fertile ground for paranormal speculation. During its years as the Tampa Bay Hotel, the building hosted notable figures, lavish events, and countless guests. some of whom experienced strange occurrences themselves. Over the decades, as the building transitioned into a university, these stories merged with the daily experiences of students and staff, reinforcing the idea that the founder's presence endures. The combination of historical significance, architectural grandeur, and the intensity of reported phenomena has made Plant Hall a focal point for local ghost lore and paranormal investigations. For students and visitors, encountering the Brown Man is both thrilling and unsettling. Some take pride in seeing the apparition, believing it is a sign of respect or acknowledgement from the founder himself. Others experience anxiety, feeling the weight of a presence that is powerful yet inscrutable. Regardless of the emotional response, these encounters leave a lasting impression, adding a layer of mystique to the university experience that cannot be replicated in ordinary educational settings. Paranormal enthusiasts have long been drawn to Plant Hall, documenting sightings, sounds, and experiences. EMF detectors, audio recordings, and thermal cameras have occasionally captured anomalies in the areas where witnesses report activity. While skeptics argue that these phenomena could be explained by building acoustics, drafts, or psychological factors, the sheer number of consistent experiences has made Plant Hall a respected location within the realm of haunted sites. The legend of Henry Plant's spirit has become part of the cultural identity of the University of Tampa, a reminder that the past often lingers in the spaces we inhabit. Norman Hall, a prominent building on the University of Florida campus in Gainesville, is known for its stately architecture, long corridors, and academic significance. But beyond its role in education, it has gained a reputation for something far less tangible: a persistent and chilling haunted presence. For decades, students, faculty, and visitors have reported unsettling experiences within its walls, earning Norman Hall a place among the university's most infamous paranormal sites. Central to these accounts are the stories of restless spirits, specifically children who are believed to have perished in a tragic elevator accident in the 1930s, leaving their lingering energy behind. The building's haunting is often described in subtle, yet unmistakably eerie ways. Visitors frequently report hearing unexplained noises that defy logical explanation. Soft footsteps echo along the hallways late at night, long after the last class has ended. Doors creak open and shut by themselves, and the faint sound of giggling or whispering seems to drift from empty classrooms or hallways. Some witnesses insist that these noises carry a sense of sadness or longing, as though the children are trying to reach out to the living, or are trapped reliving the moment of their untimely deaths. The noises are not loud or violent, but their persistence creates an atmosphere of unease that many describe as profoundly unsettling. Temperature anomalies are another hallmark of the haunting. Students and staff often report sudden drops in temperature as they move through certain areas of Norman Hall. One moment, the air feels warm and ordinary. The next, a cold chill brushes across the skin, sending shivers down the spine. These cold spots are usually isolated, concentrated near stairwells, corridors, or the location of the elevator where the accident supposedly occurred. The suddenness of these temperature shifts can be startling, and the sensation of a cold presence is often accompanied by the feeling of being watched or followed, further intensifying the building's eerie reputation. The elevator itself has become a focal point of the haunting. According to campus lore, in the 1930s, a tragic accident occurred involving several children who were caught in the elevator, leading to their deaths. While the exact details remain shrouded in uncertainty, the story has persisted in university folklore, shaping the collective imagination of those who spend time in Norman Hall. Students report hearing phantom elevator doors opening and closing when no one is inside, and some claim to feel the sensation of the elevator moving despite it being stationary. Others have seen fleeting glimpses of small, shadowy figures standing near the elevator doors, disappearing when approached. The elevator, a symbol of both modern convenience and historical tragedy, remains a potent source of fear and fascination. Beyond auditory and sensory phenomena, several witnesses have claimed visual encounters with apparitions in Norman Hall. These sightings are often described as shadowy or mist-like figures, sometimes appearing to resemble small children. In some accounts, the figures are seen peering around corners, running down hallways, or standing silently near classroom doors. The apparitions are generally fleeting, vanishing when someone approaches, but their presence leaves a lasting impression. Those who experience these sightings frequently report feelings of sorrow, empathy, and unease, as if the spirits are bound to the building by unfinished business or trauma. Faculty members who work late into the evening have also recounted inexplicable occurrences. Computers turning on and off, lights flickering, and objects moving without cause are common reports. Some claim to have felt a hand brush past them in empty hallways, or to have heard the sound of a child's laughter echoing through a classroom long after everyone has left. These experiences are not isolated. Over the years, multiple independent reports have emerged, contributing to the building's reputation as a place where the boundary between the living and the dead is thin. The architecture of Norman Hall itself adds to the haunting atmosphere. Long corridors lined with classrooms, high ceilings, and echoing stairwells create spaces that amplify even the smallest noises. Dim lighting and the aged interior give the building a timeless quality, making it easy for the imagination to fill in gaps and interpret ordinary sounds as supernatural events. However, the consistency of these reports across decades and among multiple witnesses suggests that something more than mere suggestion or imagination is at work. Paranormal enthusiasts and investigators have periodically visited Norman Hall, attempting to document the phenomena. EMF detectors, audio recorders, and thermal cameras have sometimes recorded anomalies, such as unexplained sounds, fleeting shadows, or unusual temperature fluctuations, particularly around the elevator and stairwells. While skeptics argue that drafts, acoustics, or structural quirks could account for some experiences, the repeated nature of encounters and the emotional responses they elicit have cemented Norman Hall as a center of haunted lore on the University of Florida campus. The legacy of Norman Hall's haunting is not simply one of fear. It has become a part of campus culture and history. Students share stories and warn newcomers about the eerie occurrences, creating a shared narrative that connects generations of those who walk its halls. Some view the presence of the spirits as protective, perhaps ensuring that the memories of the children are not forgotten. Others approach the building with curiosity, testing their courage by visiting at night or exploring the areas said to be most active. The University of Central Florida in Orlando, one of the largest universities in the nation, is widely recognized not only for its sprawling campus and academic achievements, but also for its long-standing reputation as a hotspot for paranormal activity. Over the years, numerous buildings have become the subject of eerie tales, drawing attention from students, staff, and curious visitors. Among the most notorious are Beatty Towers, the Carey Hand Building, Thomas Hall, and Nelson Hall. Each location has its own unique set of reported phenomena, ranging from flickering lights and sudden drops in temperature to sightings of shadowy figures that seem to drift silently through hallways. These experiences have cemented UCF's status as one of Florida's most haunted college campuses. Beatty Towers, a high-rise dormitory, is often the first place students mention when discussing paranormal activity on campus. Residents have described hearing footsteps in hallways when no one else is around, as well as doors opening and closing by themselves. Some claim to feel an unseen presence in their rooms, particularly late at night, accompanied by inexplicable cold spots that chill the air. Lights have been reported to flicker on and off without any electrical cause, leaving students unnerved and on edge. Many of these incidents occur in the upper floors, where the echoes of past occupants are said to linger. The combination of the building's height, its maze-like hallways, and its age contribute to an unsettling atmosphere that has led to numerous first-hand accounts of unexplained phenomena. The Carey Hand Building, home to classrooms and administrative offices, has also gained a reputation for being haunted. Reports include strange noises, such as doors slamming shut without cause and the sound of faint whispers echoing through empty hallways. Some students claim to have seen shadowy figures move past them at the edge of their vision, disappearing whenever they attempt to look directly at them. Cold spots are a common occurrence here as well, particularly near stairwells and corners where lighting is dim. Faculty and students alike have expressed a sense of being watched, as though unseen eyes follow their every move. These experiences, while unsettling, have become part of the folklore surrounding Carrie Hand, with many passing on stories to newcomers as both warnings and curiosities. Thomas Hall, another campus building with a haunted reputation, is linked to a variety of strange occurrences. Students studying late into the night have reported feeling sudden gusts of cold air that seem to come from nowhere, accompanied by the sensation of a presence standing just behind them. Flickering lights, inexplicable shadows, and the faint sounds of footsteps are frequent reports. Some witnesses described seeing a figure resembling a former staff member or student, silently observing them before vanishing. The combination of these incidents has made Thomas Hall a focal point for ghost enthusiasts and those intrigued by the supernatural. Many visitors describe an eerie tension in the air that seems to intensify as evening approaches. Adding to the building's spectral reputation, Nelson Hall, used primarily for academic offices, laboratories, and classrooms, has also become the subject of ghostly accounts. Staff members have described the sensation of being touched when no one else is present, doors closing on their own, and the eerie sound of voices murmuring in empty rooms. Cold spots appear randomly, especially in hallways and near stairwells. Students walking alone have reported the feeling of a shadow passing by, accompanied by a sudden and inexplicable sense of dread. These accounts, while difficult to prove, are numerous and consistent enough to warrant attention among the campus community, reinforcing Nelson Hall's status as a haunted building. Across the UCF campus, these experiences share several common threads. Unexplained noises, sudden temperature drops, and fleeting apparitions seem to appear most often during quiet hours, late at night, or in empty hallways and stairwells. Many reports involve the sensation of being watched or followed, while others describe objects moving without explanation. Some theorists suggest that the energy left behind by past students, staff, or events has imprinted on the buildings, creating residual hauntings that replay sporadically. Others believe the apparitions could be spirits of former residents who have not fully departed, lingering to observe the living or to continue routines interrupted by death or tragedy. The university's scale and history provide fertile ground for such speculation. UCF has grown rapidly over the decades, with buildings dating back decades and housing thousands of students and staff. In such a bustling environment, it is perhaps unsurprising that rumors of paranormal activity have emerged. Yet the consistency and specificity of reports across multiple buildings suggest more than coincidence. Campus tours sometimes highlight the haunted history of Beatty Towers, Thomas Hall, Nelson Hall, and Carrie Hand, acknowledging the stories passed down through generations of students. For many, these tales are a blend of history, urban legend, and paranormal curiosity. Students who have encountered these phenomena often describe a mix of fear and fascination. Some approach the experiences with skepticism, attributing noises to building, settling, drafts, or electrical issues, while others swear to the authenticity of their encounters. Tales of shadowy figures, whispers, and inexplicable chills have become part of the university culture, a shared narrative that binds generations of students to the mysterious history of the campus. Paranormal investigators occasionally visit the university to document activity, using audio and visual recording equipment, EMF detectors, and thermal cameras. While definitive evidence remains elusive, these investigations have sometimes captured anomalies consistent with witness reports, fueling further intrigue. The haunted reputation of the University of Central Florida contributes to a unique sense of identity on campus. For students, faculty, and visitors alike, the stories of Beatty Towers, Carrie Hand, Thomas Hall, and Nelson Hall serve as both cautionary tales and sources of fascination. Whether one interprets the events as the work of spirits, residual energy, or natural phenomena. The experiences are undeniably compelling and continue to captivate those who walk the campus at night. Sunset Senior High School, located in the bustling city of Miami, is known for its vibrant student body and long-standing presence in the community. Yet beyond its academic reputation, the school has garnered attention for a far more unsettling reason: persistent reports of paranormal activity that have earned it a reputation as one of the most haunted schools in the area. Central to these reports is the legend of a former student whose presence seems to linger, casting an eerie shadow over parts of the campus and leaving those who encounter it with a chilling sense of unease. Many of the hauntings are reported in the hallways, classrooms, and stairwells of Sunset Senior High School. Students and staff alike have described hearing unexplained noises that range from the soft shuffle of footsteps echoing across empty corridors to the distant sound of laughter or murmured voices that cannot be traced to any source. These auditory experiences often occur during office late at night when custodians are working alone, or during early morning preparations before classes begin. But there are also reports of such phenomena happening during the day when the school is bustling with activity. The ghost is said to be most active in certain areas of the school, particularly in parts of the hallways that have long, echoing stretches and near older sections of the building. Staff members working late into the evening have reported lights flickering without cause, and in some cases, doors opening or closing on their own. These events are often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature, creating cold spots that seem to concentrate in specific corners or stairwells. Students passing through these areas describe feeling an unexpected chill, as though an unseen presence is brushing past them, leaving a lingering sense of unease. One of the most commonly cited locations for paranormal activity is the old gymnasium. Though still in use for school events and sports, many who have visited the gym after hours claim to have heard footsteps echoing across the polished floor when no one else was present. Some have described the sensation of a figure standing near them, only to find that they are completely alone when they turn to look. The gym, with its vast open space and high ceilings, seems to amplify these experiences, giving even the slightest noise an otherworldly quality. Custodians and coaches working late have shared stories of doors slamming shut unexpectedly and equipment moving slightly, despite being carefully secured. These small but inexplicable occurrences add to the building's haunted reputation. Classrooms, particularly those in the older sections of Sunset Senior High School, have also been the site of strange activity. Teachers have reported hearing whispers in empty rooms, and students studying late have recounted the feeling of being observed. Some claim to see shadows moving along the walls or near the windows, often disappearing when approached. Others have described objects shifting slightly, such as textbooks sliding off desks or chairs rocking back and forth without anyone in sight. These experiences, while subtle, create a lingering tension that many describe as disquieting and difficult to shake. The haunting is not limited to mere auditory or visual phenomena. Some students have recounted feeling sudden emotional shifts or an inexplicable sense of sadness when passing certain areas of the school. It is as though the lingering presence carries with it fragments of its past life, leaving behind an impression that is both palpable and haunting. The legend of the former student contributes to the intensity of these experiences. Whether the spirit is seeking attention, closure, or simply repeating moments from their life, the stories continue to capture the imagination of those who frequent the school. Faculty members who have spent significant time at Sunset Senior High School often approach these stories with a mix of skepticism and cautious respect, while some attribute the occurrences to structural quirks, drafts, or electrical malfunctions. The consistency and specificity of the reports cannot be entirely dismissed. Over the years, multiple independent accounts from students, teachers, and staff have emerged, detailing experiences that share common themes: cold spots, unexplained noises, flickering lights, and shadowy figures, all concentrated in specific areas of the campus. Paranormal enthusiasts occasionally visit Sunset Senior High School to investigate these claims. Using audio recorders, EMF detectors, and night vision cameras, Some have reported capturing faint anomalies, such as indistinct shapes or strange sounds that appear to have no earthly origin. While definitive evidence remains elusive, the reports reinforce the long-standing reputation of the school as a location where the boundary between the living and the supernatural seems to blur. Despite its reputation, Sunset Senior High School continues to operate as a vibrant educational institution. The haunted legends have become part of its identity, a mix of cautionary tales and campus folklore that students share with one another. For many, the stories are a source of fascination, a reminder that the school's history extends beyond textbooks and classrooms into something far more mysterious. The sense of history and lingering presence adds a layer of intrigue that both frightens and captivates those who walk its hallways. Suwannee River Junior College in Madison, Florida, was once a thriving center of education, an opportunity for Black students during a pivotal era in the state's history. Established in 1959 as one of 11 Black junior colleges across Florida, it provided young minds with the tools to pursue higher education at a time when segregation severely limited opportunities. Yet, decades after its closure, the campus has become known not for its academic achievements, but for an entirely different legacy: its reputation as a haunted location. The abandoned buildings of Suwannee River Junior College are said to harbor a lingering presence, with reports of strange noises, shadowy figures, and unexplained phenomena that have captivated locals, historians, and paranormal enthusiasts alike. The haunting reputation of Suwannee River Junior College begins with the decaying campus itself. The buildings, though long abandoned, retain the echoes of a past era, with classrooms, hallways, and offices frozen in time. Many witnesses describe the feeling of stepping into a place that is both familiar and disturbingly otherworldly. The floors creak underfoot, seemingly under the weight of unseen footsteps, and the wind, whistling through broken windows, carries a resonance that has been interpreted as whispers from the past. Visitors frequently report sudden drops in temperature as they move through hallways, an unnerving chill that seems to settle in the older parts of the building, particularly near stairwells and classrooms that have long been closed to the public. Shadowy figures are among the most commonly reported phenomena at Suwannee River Junior College. Some witnesses claim to have seen human-shaped silhouettes moving through the hallways, often vanishing when approached. Others describe fleeting glimpses of figures in the corner of their vision, leaving them with a lingering sense of being watched. These apparitions are often associated with the stories of the students and faculty who once populated the campus, giving the sense that echoes of their daily lives continue to linger in the abandoned halls. Some speculate that these spirits are tied to the energy of the building itself, imprinted over decades of human activity, waiting for curious visitors to bear witness. Unexplained noises are another hallmark of the school's haunted reputation. Visitors often recount hearing the distant sound of footsteps echoing across empty corridors, as if the building is still being walked by students rushing to classes long past. Doors have been reported to open and close without human intervention, and in some cases, lockers have been heard slamming shut on their own. The sounds of murmured voices, laughter, or indistinct conversations have been noted, particularly in the late evening when the campus is silent and the stillness amplifies every creak and groan of the aging structures. These auditory experiences, combined with the visual apparitions, create an atmosphere of tension that many describe as both fascinating and deeply unsettling. The former administrative offices and classrooms are hotspots for paranormal activity. Some have reported hearing the rustle of papers and the clicking of chalk against chalkboards when no one else is present, as though lessons from decades ago are still being conducted in ghostly form. Chairs and desks appear to shift slightly, and objects occasionally seem displaced without explanation. Custodians and explorers who have ventured into these spaces during after hours frequently describe a sense of unease, feeling as if they are not alone, and often report witnessing shadows moving where none should be. Suwannee River Junior College's isolated location contributes to its haunting aura. Surrounded by open fields and dense woods, the abandoned campus is cut off from the bustling activity of modern Madison. This isolation amplifies the sense of suspense and mystery, making any unusual sight or sound feel more intense and inexplicable. The combination of stillness, decay, and history creates a powerful environment for the imagination, encouraging reports of paranormal phenomena that are difficult to verify but consistently compelling. The legacy of Suwannee River Junior College as an institution of education adds another layer to the haunting narrative. The spirits, if one believes in such things, are said to be tied to the hopes and dreams of the young students who once walked the halls, carrying ambitions that were constrained by the segregated society of the time. Some suggest that the lingering apparitions may be the echoes of those aspirations, caught between the vibrancy of youth and the reality of history. This historical context makes the reported hauntings particularly poignant, blending social memory with supernatural legend. Paranormal investigators have occasionally visited the site to document these occurrences, using tools such as audio recorders, EMF detectors, and thermal cameras. Some have reported anomalies consistent with the eyewitness accounts: fleeting figures on camera, unexplained sounds, and temperature fluctuations, while definitive proof remains elusive. These investigations add credibility to the multitude of stories shared by locals and urban explorers who have ventured onto the campus grounds. Despite its abandoned state, Suwannee River Junior College continues to capture the imagination. For historians, the school is a relic of a significant period in Florida's educational history. For paranormal enthusiasts, it is a site of mystery and spectral intrigue. Visitors often report leaving the campus with a mixture of awe and trepidation, carrying with them the sense that the school's history is not entirely confined to the past. The sounds, shadows, and sensations reported by those who enter suggest that the spirits of the campus remain vigilant, continuing their quiet watch over a place that once nurtured dreams. Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida, is widely regarded as one of the most picturesque and historically significant institutions in the state. Beyond its architectural beauty and academic reputation, however, Flagler College has garnered a reputation for the supernatural. For decades, stories have circulated among students, faculty, and visitors about ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena within the historic halls. Central to these tales is the figure of Henry Flagler himself, whose spirit is said to linger, watching over the buildings he created and the lives he influenced. Constructed at the height of the Gilded Age, the hotel was an extravagant destination for wealthy tourists, complete with marble floors, intricate murals, and grand staircases. Many of these features remain intact today, preserved as part of the college's historic charm. Visitors often remark that while the architecture is undeniably beautiful, there is a palpable energy in certain areas on almost eerie stillness punctuated by subtle, unexplainable phenomena in the hallways. Some have reported feeling sudden chills, as though the temperature drops inexplicably in specific spots. Others have noted hearing footsteps echoing across the polished floors, or the faint creak of doors opening and closing when no one else is present. Henry Flagler himself is the most commonly cited apparition at the college. Students and staff have claimed to see a shadowy figure resembling a distinguished gentleman walking through the halls or standing near the original hotel lobby. While many initially assume these sightings are the result of imagination or fatigue, some reports are particularly detailed. Witnesses describe the figure as wearing a long coat with a presence that commands the space without seeming threatening. According to lore, Flagler's spirit remains tied to the building, keeping watch over the institution he established and perhaps ensuring that the grandeur of his vision is respected. The classrooms and hallways of Flagler College are frequent sites of paranormal activity. Students studying late into the evening have reported hearing whispers in empty rooms or the soft sound of furniture moving as if someone invisible is adjusting it. In the old lecture halls, chalkboards have been observed to appear as though recently used, with faint lines or scribbles that vanish when checked again. Some visitors claim to have felt an unseen hand brush against them, particularly near staircases and hallways that retain much of the original hotel design. These experiences often leave students with a mix of curiosity and apprehension, a recognition that the building's history is alive in more ways than one. The grand staircases and long corridors are often cited as the most active locations for ghostly phenomena. The echo of footsteps on the marble stairs has been reported frequently, sometimes coinciding with moments when the building is completely empty. Faculty members working late have occasionally heard voices in conversation, though no other staff are present. Some have even reported seeing fleeting shapes dart across hallways, only to vanish when approached. These events are often subtle, but their persistence over decades has cemented Flagler College's reputation as a haunted site. Students who live in the college dormitories have also shared stories of unusual experiences, doors opening or closing without explanation, lights flickering unexpectedly, and objects shifting positions have been reported repeatedly. Some residents have described the sensation of being watched, particularly late at night when the campus is quiet and shadows fall across the old architecture. While these occurrences may have natural explanations, the consistency of the reports across multiple generations of students has contributed to a sense of shared legend and curiosity surrounding the college. During its operation as a hotel, the building hosted countless guests and staff, each leaving a small imprint on the space. The transition from luxury hotel to academic institution did not erase these imprints, and many believe that the energy of past lives, both triumphant and tragic, remains embedded within the walls. Some paranormal enthusiasts suggest that the unusual activity is residual, a kind of echo of past events, while others believe the presence is intelligent, interacting with the living in subtle ways. Paranormal investigators have occasionally explored Flagler College using audio recorders, thermal cameras, and electromagnetic field detectors. Some have reported anomalies, such as strange shadows, unexplained sounds, or temperature fluctuations that align with student reports. While definitive proof of ghosts remains elusive, these investigations add to the fascination and mystique of the college, drawing curious visitors and thrill-seekers eager to experience the stories firsthand. Despite the reports of supernatural activity, Flagler College continues to function as a vibrant academic institution. The ghost stories have become an integral part of its identity, shared among students, faculty, and visitors alike. The idea that Henry Flagler himself might still roam the halls adds a sense of continuity and intrigue, blending history with the unexplained. Oviedo Haunted School has long held a reputation among locals and paranormal enthusiasts as one of the most unsettling sites in the city. The origins of the school's haunted status are shrouded in mystery, but over the years, countless visitors have reported chilling experiences that seem to defy explanation. The abandoned classrooms, long hallways, and forgotten corners of the building appear to harbor remnants of the past, with a presence that is both palpable and unnerving. Reports of ghostly activity have transformed the site from an ordinary educational institution into a location that continues to capture the imagination of those drawn to the supernatural. The first and most striking reports from Oviedo Haunted School come in the form of sounds. Visitors frequently recount hearing screams and cries echoing through empty hallways, often accompanied by soft, indistinct whispers that seem to come from the walls themselves. These sounds are not fleeting. Many describe them as persistent, sometimes lasting for several minutes, and always giving the impression that someone or something is moving unseen through the building. The origin of these noises remains unclear, as no other individuals are present during the occurrences, leaving an eerie sense that the school is alive with spectral activity. Footsteps are another recurring phenomenon reported by those who dare to explore the site. Many have described the sensation of being followed, hearing footsteps matching their own pace or echoing from behind them in hallways that are otherwise empty. In some cases, the sounds appear on different floors or rooms, impossible to track, creating the unsettling impression of multiple presences moving throughout the building. The footsteps are often accompanied by sudden temperature drops, which intensify the feeling of unease and contribute to the school's haunted atmosphere. Several witnesses claim to have seen apparitions of children within the abandoned school. These figures are often described as running or playing through the hallways, only to vanish when approached. The sightings are usually fleeting but vivid, leaving a lasting impression on those who witness them. Some have even reported hearing faint laughter or the sound of toys clattering across the floors, as if the children are reenacting moments from long ago. These ghostly children are often interpreted as remnants of the school's past. Spirits who never left the place where they once studied and played, forever bound to its walls. In addition to ghostly children, darker figures have also been reported. Some visitors have seen shadowy shapes lurking around corners, in doorways, or near stairwells, remaining out of reach and vanishing when approached. These darker apparitions evoke a sense of menace, as if they are observing intruders or silently enforcing the boundaries of the school. The combination of playful ghostly children and ominous shadow figures contributes to a complex haunting, one that is both unsettling and fascinating, blending innocence with fear. The classrooms and hallways themselves seem to hold memories of the past. Witnesses often report hearing the sound of chalk scratching on boards, books being shuffled, or chairs scraping across the floors, despite the absence of any living occupants. Some describe the sensation of unseen hands brushing against them, particularly near lockers or along narrow corridors. The energy of these spaces is often described as heavy, charged with an unexplainable presence that makes ordinary movements feel scrutinized. The decaying condition of the building only amplifies these experiences. With creaking floors, drafty windows, and peeling paint creating an ideal environment for the mind to interpret ordinary sounds and movements as supernatural phenomena. Many paranormal enthusiasts who have visited Oviedo Haunted School emphasize the psychological impact of the location. The combination of isolation, silence, and history creates a setting in which ordinary sensory experiences can feel extraordinary. Shadows seem to move in the periphery. Distant noises take on sinister meanings, and even the faintest whisper can provoke fear for those predisposed to belief in the paranormal. The school offers a powerful environment where the imagination and the unexplained converge, producing encounters that feel tangible and immediate. Investigations into the school's hauntings have been sporadic but intriguing. Paranormal researchers using audio recorders, EMF detectors, and thermal cameras have documented unusual occurrences, strange sounds, temperature fluctuations, and anomalous images. While definitive proof of ghosts remains elusive, these investigations provide additional layers to the stories shared by local explorers and visitors. Whether one views these reports as evidence of the supernatural or as a product of human perception and expectation, the consistency and specificity of the accounts cannot be entirely dismissed. The stories surrounding Oviedo Haunted School have also been reinforced by word of mouth, local folklore, and social media, making it a well-known destination for thrill-seekers and amateur ghost hunters. Even those who enter the building without prior knowledge of its reputation often report feeling a distinct sense of unease, as though the history of the ice and the events that unfolded within its walls continue to echo in the present. This pervasive atmosphere ensures that the haunted legend of the school continues to grow, drawing curiosity and fear in equal measure. Suncoast High School, located in Riviera Beach, Florida, has long been recognized not just for its academic programs and extracurricular activities, but also for the unsettling tales surrounding its auditorium. For decades, students, faculty, and visitors have shared reports of unexplained phenomena, many of which are centered on the school's large performance space. The auditorium, with its towering rafters and dimly lit corners, seems to harbor a presence that is both watchful and elusive. And those who spend time there, particularly drama students, often recount experiences that are difficult to explain. The primary focus of the haunting appears to be the auditorium's upper reaches, specifically the rafters above the stage. Many drama students have reported hearing faint noises coming from this area, sounds that mimic the shuffling of feet, the creaking of wooden beams, or the soft whisper of a voice. These sounds often occur during rehearsals or performances, when the space is otherwise occupied and the focus of the students is intense. Witnesses describe a chilling sensation, as though someone or something is observing their every move from above, yet no one is physically present in the elevated spaces. The feeling of being watched has been persistent enough to inspire unease among cast and crew members, leaving a lasting impression on those who encounter it. In addition to sounds, there are numerous accounts of physical sensations associated with the phantom presence. Students frequently describe sudden drops in temperature near the stage or in certain sections of the auditorium, even when the rest of the room is comfortably warm. Others report the inexplicable brushing of air against their skin or the sensation of an unseen hand lightly grazing their shoulders. These experiences are often accompanied by a sense of anticipation or dread, particularly when performing dramatic or emotionally charged scenes. The combination of sound, temperature change, and tactile sensation contributes to a complex haunting that engages multiple senses and makes the phenomenon feel tangible. Some of the most chilling reports involve visual encounters with the unknown. A few witnesses claim to have seen fleeting shadows dart across the stage or along the walls, moving quickly and disappearing when approached. Others have described more defined shapes, such as the silhouette of a young boy standing near the rafters or peering down at the performers. These apparitions are often reported as semi-transparent, with indistinct features, leaving viewers unsure whether they have witnessed a ghost or merely their imagination playing tricks under the stress of rehearsals. Nevertheless, the consistency of these accounts over the years has reinforced the idea that the auditorium is home to a persistent and active presence. Local lore surrounding the haunting provides possible explanations for the ghostly activity. Some believe the spirit is that of a boy who tragically died and was buried on the school's campus. The circumstances of his death are unclear, though rumors suggest an accident occurred long before the school was fully established or during an early construction phase. The boy's attachment to the auditorium may stem from an unfulfilled connection to the performing arts, as the space now serves as a center of creative expression at Suncoast High School. Students and visitors alike speculate that the ghost remains tied to the auditorium, observing rehearsals and performances, much as he might have watched from a hidden vantage point in life. The haunting is particularly pronounced during evening rehearsals, when shadows are long and the auditorium is illuminated only by stage lights. Footsteps, whispers, and rustling sounds appear to synchronize with these moments, amplifying the eerie sensation that something unseen is engaging with the living. Some performers have even claimed that props or small objects seem to move slightly, as if nudged by an invisible hand. These subtle interactions contribute to a sense of the ghost's awareness and involvement in the activities of the space, further solidifying the legend. Faculty members and school staff have also shared stories of unexplained occurrences. Custodians working after hours have reported hearing noises from the stage or rafters, and some have noted objects found in unusual positions upon returning to the auditorium. Teachers supervising evening rehearsals have occasionally witnessed lights flickering without cause, or the sense of being observed, even when all students are accounted for. The consistency of these experiences across both students and staff has reinforced the idea that Suncoast High School's auditorium is home to something beyond ordinary explanation. Paranormal enthusiasts have been drawn to the site, often documenting the space with audio recorders, thermal cameras, and other investigative equipment. Some of these investigations have yielded unusual results, including unexplained sounds and temperature fluctuations consistent with student reports. While definitive evidence of a ghost remains elusive, the anecdotal experiences are compelling and have contributed to the ongoing fascination with the haunting. The auditorium has thus become a focal point, not only for the performing arts, but also for those intrigued by the supernatural. The stories of Suncoast High School's haunted auditorium have become part of the school's identity. Drama students pass down tales of the phantom in the rafters, sharing warnings and personal experiences with each new class. Visitors are often intrigued, approaching rehearsals with a heightened sense of awareness and curiosity. The ghostly presence has become intertwined with the creative life of the school, a mysterious yet integral part of the performances and practices that occur in the auditorium. Thomas Hall, one of the older buildings on the University of Central Florida campus, has long held a reputation among students and staff as a place where the ordinary can quickly turn into the unsettling. Since its construction, the building has been the site of countless academic endeavors, bustling with students rushing to classes, late-night study sessions, and the usual ebb and flow of university life. Yet beneath the normalcy of lectures and administrative work, there lies a persistent belief that Thomas Hall is not entirely occupied by the living. Over the years, numerous reports of paranormal activity have surfaced, giving the building a reputation as one of UCF's most haunted locations. The phenomena reported in Thomas Hall are varied, but several patterns emerge that lend weight to its eerie reputation. One of the most frequently cited occurrences is flickering lights. Students and staff have recounted instances where overhead lights suddenly dim or blink in a rhythmic pattern, even when the electrical systems are functioning normally. In some cases, the lights have been reported to flicker on and off entirely without any mechanical explanation, often coinciding with moments of solitude in hallways or classrooms. For those walking through the building late at night, these sudden changes in illumination create an unnerving atmosphere, reinforcing the impression that unseen forces are present. Another common feature of the haunting involves sudden cold spots. Individuals moving through the building frequently report pockets of inexplicable chill, often accompanied by goosebumps and the sensation of being watched. These cold areas appear without any logical source, defying typical heating and cooling patterns. Some witnesses describe the temperature dropping dramatically as they enter certain corridors or rooms, particularly those on upper floors or at the far ends of hallways. The sudden shift in climate adds a tangible, physical element to the experiences, making it difficult to dismiss as mere imagination. Shadowy figures have also been a recurring element of the stories surrounding Thomas Hall. Students studying late or staff working after hours often report seeing dark silhouettes moving just beyond the edge of their vision. These figures are described as fleeting, sometimes vanishing when approached, and other times appearing to linger in the corners of hallways or near doorways. Some have reported seeing humanoid shapes standing at the end of a corridor, watching silently before disappearing altogether. The elusive nature of these figures has heightened the sense of unease and fascination, leaving witnesses with a lingering impression that the building is being observed by something unseen. The origin of Thomas Hall's haunting is a matter of speculation. Some attribute the ghostly activity to the spirits of former students who spent countless hours within the building's classrooms and study areas. Stories circulated among students suggest that the energy of those who passed through the building may have remained behind, manifesting as subtle yet persistent paranormal phenomena. Others speculate that the history of the building itself, including its decades of continuous use and the countless human interactions that have occurred there, has created a sort of residual energy and imprint of past emotions and experiences that occasionally makes itself known. Visitors often report auditory phenomena as well. Strange whispers, footsteps echoing in empty corridors, and faint, indistinct voices have all been documented by those who spend time in Thomas Hall. Some describe the sounds as resembling students moving between classrooms, while others insist the noises are more ghostly, like faint murmurs of people who are no longer living. The auditory experiences often coincide with visual or physical manifestations, creating a multisensory encounter that is difficult to explain scientifically. The haunting of Thomas Hall is not limited to anecdotal stories. Paranormal investigators and curious students have conducted informal explorations of the building, often employing audio recorders, cameras, and thermal imaging equipment. While definitive evidence of spirits remains elusive, many investigators have captured unusual anomalies, including sudden drops in temperature, unexplained noises, and shadowy figures on camera. These findings, while not conclusive, support the experiences reported by countless students and staff over the years. Further cementing Thomas Hall's reputation as a haunted location, For those who spend time in the building, the haunting is often described as more than just frightening. It is deeply immersive. Students studying late into the night report the sensation of being accompanied, even when alone. While faculty members have recounted moments of inexplicable unease during evening office hours, the combination of flickering lights, sudden cold spots, and shadowy figures creates a sense that Thomas Hall is alive in a way beyond the ordinary. Its history and energy blending into an ongoing presence that interacts with the living. Over time, the stories of Thomas Hall have become a part of the university's culture. Students share tales of unexplained events, passing along warnings about which floors and rooms are active with paranormal energy. The lore has become intertwined with campus life, creating a shared understanding of the building's haunted nature. Even those who do not personally experience anything unusual are often aware of the building's reputation, which in turn heightens the atmosphere for those who enter. The Carey Hand Building at the University of Central Florida has long been a hub of academic activity, bustling with students attending classes, faculty moving between offices, and staff maintaining the everyday flow of campus life. Yet, despite its vibrant purpose, this building has acquired a reputation that sets it apart from its more mundane neighbors. Over the years, a series of unusual and unexplained phenomena have been reported within its walls, giving rise to stories that suggest the Carey Hand Building is haunted. Students, faculty, and visitors alike have recounted encounters that are at once chilling and mysterious, lending the structure an air of eerie intrigue. One of the most commonly reported phenomena in the Carey Hand Building is the sudden appearance of cold spots. Witnesses frequently describe feeling an abrupt drop in temperature in certain areas, particularly in corridors or stairwells, where the chill seems to linger momentarily before dissipating. These cold pockets often occur without any explanation from the building's heating and cooling systems, leaving those who experience them unnerved. Students have reported feeling chills as they walk alone to their evening classes, or while entering classrooms that moments before were comfortably warm. The sudden, unexplained cold contributes to an overarching sense of unease, making the building feel alive in an intangible but unmistakable way. In addition to temperature anomalies, auditory experiences have played a significant role in the building's haunted reputation. Numerous witnesses have reported hearing footsteps echoing through empty hallways, the sound of doors opening and closing, and faint murmurs that seem to come from unseen sources. These noises are often described as subtle, at first a soft creak of floorboards, the distant murmur of a conversation, but grow more pronounced when the building is otherwise silent. Faculty members working late into the evening have recounted hearing what sounds like a hurried pace along the hallways, or the rustle of papers from offices that are otherwise locked and unoccupied. For many, these auditory anomalies create the feeling that someone or something is observing them from just out of sight. Visual phenomena have also been reported in the Carey Hand Building. Some students claim to have glimpsed shadowy figures moving along hallways or near office doors, only for the shapes to vanish when approached. These apparitions are often described as indistinct and fleeting, yet their consistent appearance in the same locations has fueled speculation that the building is inhabited by spirits. The combination of visual, auditory, and physical experiences strengthens the perception of the Carey Hand Building as a place where the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural are thin. The origins of the haunting remain speculative, though several theories have been proposed. Some believe that the spirits of former students, professors, or staff members who spent significant portions of their lives in the building may linger, attached to the energy of the place. Others suggest that residual energy imprints of strong emotions, events, and experiences that occurred over decades manifests as the unexplained phenomena that continue to intrigue and unsettle witnesses. Regardless of the cause, the stories surrounding the building have persisted, passed down from student to student, creating a shared lore that enhances the sense of mystery. Many of the experiences reported in the Carey Hand Building occurred during evening hours, when the halls are largely empty and shadows dominate the corners of classrooms and offices. Students have described the sensation of being watched while walking alone to night classes, hearing footsteps that match their pace, or feeling the sudden brush of air across their skin when no one else is nearby. The building's architecture, with its long corridors, stairwells, and enclosed offices, amplifies these experiences, creating pockets of isolation where unexplained occurrences seem most pronounced. Some have even reported objects moving slightly or doors opening on their own, adding a tangible element to the otherwise elusive phenomena. Paranormal enthusiasts and curious students have often documented their experiences within the building, using audio recorders, thermal cameras, and other investigative tools. They have attempted to capture evidence of the reported phenomena, while conclusive proof remains elusive. Recordings sometimes capture strange sounds or fluctuations in temperature, lending credibility to the stories passed down over the years. These investigations have also contributed to the building's mystique, attracting both skeptics and believers to explore its haunted reputation firsthand. For those who frequent the Carey Hand building, the haunting is more than just an abstract idea. It is an immersive, persistent presence. Students preparing for exams, faculty grading papers late at night, or staff working after hours often recount moments of heightened awareness, a feeling that the building itself is attentive to their movements. The unexplained noises, sudden chills, and fleeting shadows combine to create an atmosphere that is both unsettling and compelling, a unique aspect of life at the University of Central Florida. Over time, the legend of the Carey Hand building has become part of the university's culture. Tales of paranormal activity are shared informally among students and faculty, with new members of the campus community warned about the unusual occurrences that have been reported. The stories serve both as cautionary tales and as points of fascination, ensuring that the building's haunted reputation continues to grow. Visitors often enter with a heightened sense of curiosity, listening intently for unexplained sounds or watching for signs of movement in the shadows. Beatty Towers, one of the tallest residence halls at the University of Central Florida, has long been a focal point of student life, housing hundreds of students each semester. Its towering presence on campus is matched only by the eerie stories that have surrounded it for decades. While most students focus on classes, social events, and campus activities, a persistent undercurrent of tales about unexplained phenomena has cemented Beatty Tower's reputation as one of the university's most haunted buildings. Residents and visitors alike have reported experiences that defy rational explanation, leaving a trail of chilling stories and whispered warnings for those who dare to stay overnight. Many of the reports center on strange noises that seem to emanate from empty hallways or unoccupied rooms. Students have described hearing footsteps pacing along the corridors late at night, often echoing in a manner that suggests multiple people are present, even when the building is nearly deserted. The sounds are not consistent with normal activity. Doors are heard opening and closing without anyone entering, and the low murmur of voices occasionally drifts through the halls. Some students claim that the voices are so distinct that they seem to be calling out names, although there is never anyone to respond. These auditory experiences often occur when residents are alone in their rooms or walking back from the elevators, amplifying the sensation of isolation and heightening the building's supernatural aura. Cold spots and sudden drops in temperature are also a common feature of the Beatty Tower's hauntings. Students have reported walking into a room that was previously warm, only to feel an inexplicable chill that cannot be explained by the building's climate control system. These cold pockets are often accompanied by an overwhelming feeling of being watched or the sense that someone is standing nearby, even when the room is empty. Residents describe shivers that run down their spine, hairs on their neck standing on end, and an almost palpable tension that cannot be dismissed. The combination of unexplained sounds and sudden cold spots makes the towers a place where the ordinary rules of the physical world seem suspended, creating an atmosphere thick with apprehension. Visual phenomena have also been recounted by residents of Beatty Towers. Shadows dart across hallways or appear at the end of corridors, vanishing when approached. Some students report seeing the faint outline of a figure sitting on a bed or standing in a corner, only for the apparition to disappear when the lights are turned on. These figures are often described as indistinct, almost translucent, yet their presence is undeniable to those who witness them. In some cases, students claim to see movement in their peripheral vision objects, shifting doors, opening slightly, or the dim reflection of a figure in a mirror, heightening the sense that Beatty Towers is more than just a physical space, but a place where past and present overlap. The origins of these hauntings are largely speculative. Some believe the spirits of former students who spent years living in the residence hall remain tethered to the building by their memories and experiences. Others suggest that residual energy from strong emotions, stress, joy, heartbreak, or conflict imprints itself on the hallways and rooms, replaying like echoes over time. Whatever the source, the stories persist, passed from one generation of students to the next, each adding new experiences and reinforcing the lore surrounding the towers. Many residents report that the activity intensifies during the evening and early morning hours, when the building is quieter and shadows dominate the hallways. Students walk into late-night study sessions, returning from dining halls, or simply moving between floors, often report the sensation of being followed. Some have felt a sudden brush against their arm, only to turn and find no one there. Others have found objects slightly moved from their original positions, as though a ghostly hand had intervened. These subtle, yet unnerving occurrences leave a lasting impression on those who encounter them, turning ordinary nights in the dorm into experiences that linger long after students have graduated. Paranormal enthusiasts and curious students have attempted to investigate the strange happenings at Beatty Towers, armed with cameras, audio recorders, and thermal sensors. While definitive proof of the supernatural remains elusive, recordings have occasionally captured unexplained sounds, footsteps on empty floors, voices that cannot be traced, or faint knocks from within the walls. These experiences, combined with first-hand accounts, bolster the building's haunted reputation and draw visitors eager to experience the tower's eerie energy firsthand. The stories surrounding Beatty Towers have become a part of student culture at the University of Central Florida. New residents are often warned about the haunted floors, and tales of midnight encounters circulate through social media, blogs, and campus forums. For some students, the haunting is a source of fear and anxiety, while others see it as an intriguing challenge or a point of campus pride, a unique feature that sets their dorm apart from the ordinary. The shared experiences contribute to a sense of community among residents, as each story strengthens the building's enigmatic allure. Ultimately, Beatty Tower stands as a reminder that even modern, bustling student residence halls can hold traces of the past, and that the line between the natural and the unexplained is often thinner than expected. The unexplained footsteps, cold spots, and fleeting apparitions create an atmosphere that is both unsettling and captivating, drawing in those with curiosity, skepticism, or a penchant for the supernatural. For the students who walk its hallways, Beatty Towers is more than just a dormitory. It is a place where the echoes of past residents still linger, where the ordinary and the extraordinary coexist, and where every shadow, creak, or chill might just be a whisper from another time. Nelson Hall, one of the academic buildings at the University of Central Florida, has become a focal point of whispered stories and unsettling encounters among students and faculty alike. Though it functions primarily as a center for classes and administrative offices, the building carries a reputation that transcends its academic purpose. Over the years, numerous accounts of paranormal activity have emerged, creating an aura of mystery that lingers long after the last lecture of the day. From flickering lights to sudden cold spots and shadowy figures, Nelson Hall has established itself as a location where the ordinary collides with the unexplained. Many of the earliest reports of strange occurrences at Nelson Hall came from students attending late-night study sessions. As the campus quiets and corridors empty, the building takes on a different character. Flickering lights are a frequent complaint. Lights that seem perfectly functional by day begin to blink on and off unpredictably in the evening. Some students describe entire hallways illuminated one moment and plunged into darkness the next, only for the lights to return without explanation. These fluctuations are often accompanied by a subtle sense of unease, as if the building itself is alive and aware of their presence. The unpredictability of the lights seems to unsettle even the most seasoned students, creating an environment ripe for heightened senses and unnerving experiences. Cold spots are another hallmark of the hauntings reported at Nelson Hall. Students have walked into classrooms or hallways only to feel a sudden drop in temperature that cannot be attributed to the building's climate control system. The chills often come in waves, sometimes accompanied by the faint sensation of being watched or followed. These cold pockets are particularly disconcerting when experienced alone, lending a tangible sense of vulnerability to anyone traversing the empty corridors. Accounts often describe an oppressive stillness that accompanies the sudden cold, as if the very air itself has been altered by an unseen presence. Perhaps the most compelling and widely reported phenomena involves shadowy figures seen throughout Nelson Hall. Witnesses describe fleeting glimpses of human-like silhouettes standing at the end of hallways or lingering just inside classroom doors. These apparitions are often described as indistinct, lacking definitive features, yet their presence is unmistakable. Some students report seeing figures sitting at empty desks, only for them to vanish when approached, leaving no trace behind. These shadowy visitors have become an integral part of the building's haunted lore, prompting many to avoid certain floors or rooms after dusk. Voices and disembodied sounds have also been reported, adding another layer to Nelson Hall's eerie reputation. Whispered conversations, faint laughter, and the sound of footsteps echoing through the hallways are commonly cited experiences. While it is difficult to verify the source of these sounds, students insist that they often occur in areas where no other person is present. Some have reported hearing their own names called in hushed tones, sending chills down their spine. The combination of auditory and visual phenomena contributes to an overall sense that the building is inhabited by spirits who continue to move through the spaces they once occupied in life. Faculty and staff have not been immune to these experiences. Custodians working late-night shifts report doors opening and closing without cause, objects shifting slightly from their original positions, and the persistent feeling of being observed. Professors occasionally remark on the strange behavior of technology within the building, computers freezing, projectors malfunctioning, or office lights flickering then when other equipment functions normally elsewhere on campus. These events, while subtle, reinforce the notion that Nelson Hall is a site where the ordinary rules of physics and logic do not always apply. The origins of the hauntings at Nelson Hall remain speculative. Some believe that the spirits of former students who spent significant time within its walls remain tethered to the building, their energy lingering long after they have graduated. Others suggest that residual emotions, such as stress, triumph, or grief experienced by past occupants, have imprinted themselves upon the structure, replaying in ways that manifest as cold spots, apparitions, and unexplained sounds. Regardless of the explanation, the stories continue to accumulate, passed down from one generation of students to the next, ensuring that Nelson Hall's haunted reputation endures. Even skeptics cannot deny the impact these stories have had on student culture at the University of Central Florida. Newcomers to the building are often warned about the haunted floors, and late-night study sessions are sometimes accompanied by nervous laughter or anxious glances at shadows. Paranormal enthusiasts have attempted to investigate Nelson Hall, bringing cameras, audio recorders, and thermal sensors to capture evidence of the unexplained. While definitive proof remains elusive, many recordings have captured odd sounds and fleeting movements, lending credence to the anecdotal reports that circulate among students. Ultimately, Nelson Hall stands as a testament to the idea that spaces can carry memories beyond the living. The combination of flickering lights, cold spots, shadowy figures, and unexplained sounds creates an environment that is at once familiar and unsettling. Students who walk its hallways late at night are often struck by the sensation that the building itself is alive with echoes of the past. The University of Miami located in the picturesque city of Coral Gables, is renowned for its academic excellence, lush campus, and vibrant student life. However, beyond its sun-drenched walkways and elegant architecture, there exists a quieter, darker reputation that has persisted for decades. Whispers of unexplained phenomena and ghostly sightings have circulated among students, faculty, and visitors, casting an eerie shadow over parts of the campus. Buildings that are otherwise bustling with activity by day transform into unsettling spaces after hours, where the ordinary rules of reality seem to falter, leaving behind experiences that defy explanation. One of the most commonly reported types of paranormal activity at the University of Miami is the sudden appearance of cold spots. These abrupt drops in temperature can occur anywhere on campus, from dimly lit hallways to classrooms left empty after evening lectures. Students often describe walking into a room and feeling a chilling sensation, accompanied by the faint impression that someone or something is watching them. These cold spots are fleeting but unnerving, leaving those who experience them with a lingering sense of unease. Some students have recounted multiple encounters in the same locations, suggesting that certain areas may be hotspots of residual energy or spectral presence. In addition to cold spots, unexplained noises are frequently reported across campus. Echoing footsteps on deserted hallways, the distant slam of doors, and the creaking of floorboards in empty buildings have all been described by those who frequent the university after dark. Many witnesses claim that these sounds mimic the activities of students or staff, as if spectral figures are replaying moments from the past. In some cases, the noises appear to follow students as they move from room to room, vanishing only when they leave the building. The dissonance between the visible emptiness of the campus and the tangible presence of sound contributes heavily to the university's haunted lore. Shadowy figures are another recurring phenomenon reported by students and faculty. These apparitions often appear at the edge of vision, fleetingly observed in hallways, stairwells, and corridors. Some describe them as indistinct silhouettes, while others claim to have glimpsed more detailed forms, sometimes resembling past students or faculty members. The most unsettling aspect of these sightings is that the figures seem aware of their observers, disappearing only when approached directly. Such encounters leave a lasting impression, embedding a sense of caution and reverence for the campus after hours. Students who have seen these shadows often describe feeling watched or followed, even when they are alone in broad, open spaces. One particular building with a reputation for paranormal activity is the historic Merrick Hall. Its grand architecture and old-world charm make it a hub of student activity during the day, but after hours, the building reportedly becomes a site of ghostly encounters. Students have reported hearing whispers along the empty hallways, voices echoing as if conversations are taking place nearby when no one else is present. Others have felt the sensation of someone walking beside them, only to turn and find the corridor empty. These experiences have fostered an aura of mystery around Merrick Hall, prompting many to treat the building with a mix of curiosity and caution. Another frequently cited location is the Richter Library, a place that is quiet and dimly lit even during operational hours. Some students have reported objects shifting slightly on shelves, chairs moving on their own, and unexplained thumps from upper floors. The combination of silence and the occasional unexplainable activity amplifies the building's eerie reputation. Library staff who work late often speak of fleeting shadows moving between stacks, creating the impression that the past still lingers among the books and study areas. The campus theater and performance halls also have their share of ghostly tales. Lights turning on and off without cause, stage curtains moving despite no drafts, and the sound of distant applause or footsteps on stage have all been reported by drama students and staff. These phenomena are often dismissed as quirks of old buildings, yet repeated experiences across decades suggest that there may be more at play. Many performers report an intangible presence that seems to linger after everyone has left, as if unseen observers are watching rehearsals and performances. Even outdoor areas of the university are not exempt from supernatural reports. Walkways lined with palm trees and secluded courtyards have been the sites of fleeting apparitions, whispering voices, and cold gusts of wind that cannot be attributed to the natural environment. Students walking alone at night often recount the sensation of being followed or hearing footsteps behind them, only to find the paths empty when they turn. The campus blend of lush greenery and historic architecture creates shadows and echoes that make these experiences feel intensely real. Over the years, the stories of hauntings at the University of Miami have become part of campus culture. Despite the lack of scientific proof, these anecdotes continue to circulate, blending with the university's rich history and enhancing the mystique of the campus. The persistence of these stories suggests that the university's energy, both historical and emotional, remains alive, shaping the experiences of those who walk its grounds. Lincoln High School in Tallahassee, Florida, stands as a historic institution with a storied past. Established in the early 20th century, the school has educated generations of students, serving as both a center of learning and a community landmark. Yet beyond the academic achievements and bustling hallways, Lincoln High has garnered a reputation that intrigues as much as it unnerves. For decades, whispers of paranormal activity have circulated among students, faculty, and local residents, painting a picture of a school where the past refuses to rest. Reports of unexplained phenomena at Lincoln High are widespread and varied. Many students and staff have recounted the sensation of being watched while walking through hallways long after classes have ended. These eerie feelings are often accompanied by sudden cold spots that chill the air unexpectedly. In some cases, the temperature shift is so abrupt that it startles those present, leaving them with the impression that an unseen presence has just passed. The school's architecture, with its narrow corridors, high ceilings, and creaking floors, seems to amplify these sensations, turning ordinary moments into encounters that feel deeply unsettling. One of the most commonly reported experiences involves hearing whispers in empty hallways. Students studying late or faculty members working after hours often describe hearing faint murmurs, as if conversations are occurring just out of reach. These whispers are elusive and indistinct, with no identifiable source. Some who have encountered them claim that the voices sound like those of children, while others insist they resemble teenage students from decades past. The phenomenon is particularly noticeable in the older sections of the school, where the echoes seem to linger longer and the shadows deepen, creating an atmosphere thick with tension. Footsteps are another frequent occurrence. Staff and students have described the sound of shoes striking the floors of deserted hallways, sometimes following them from room to room. In some cases, the footsteps have been loud enough to echo through multiple floors. Yet, when the observer turns to investigate, the hallways remain empty. These auditory phenomena are particularly pronounced during the late evening or early morning, suggesting a connection to times when the building is least populated. Over the years, numerous eyewitnesses have reported that the footsteps often coincide with other unusual events, such as doors opening or closing on their own, or lights flickering inexplicably. Shadowy figures are perhaps the most striking aspect of Lincoln High's haunted reputation. Students and faculty alike have reported glimpsing dark, human-like forms moving between classrooms or lingering near stairwells. These apparitions are fleeting, vanishing when approached or when attention is focused directly on them. Witnesses often describe a sensation of dread or unease when a shadow passes, as if the figure carries with it a weight of unresolved history. Some speculate that these are the spirits of former students who met tragic ends during the school's early years, lingering to watch over the halls they once occupied. Others suggest that these figures might be residual energy, echoes of past events replaying themselves in the school's spaces. Several areas of Lincoln High have developed particularly strong reputations for paranormal activity. The main hallway, with its long stretch of lockers and high windows, is often cited as a hotspot for unusual sounds and apparitions. The older science and art classrooms, with their original wood floors and heavy doors, are also known for cold spots and sudden noises. Even the stairwells and second-floor corridors have been the setting for multiple reports of shadowy figures gliding along the walls, leaving a lingering sense of unease. Teachers who work late in the building often recount stories of lights flickering without cause, doors swinging open on their own, and objects moving slightly when no one is around. Custodial staff have occasionally discovered items out of place, despite having secured the rooms hours earlier. These experiences, while often shrugged off as quirks of an old building, accumulate over time to create a compelling narrative of a school imbued with spectral energy. Alumni of Lincoln High sometimes report experiences long after graduation, particularly when returning for reunions or events in the old sections of the school. Many describe an uncanny feeling of nostalgia intertwined with unease, as if the school remembers them and reaches out from beyond the physical plane. Some have even claimed to see faint figures or hear whispers that evoke memories from their time as students, lending credence to the idea that the school's history is not confined to the past, but remains actively present. Despite or, perhaps, because of these paranormal tales, Lincoln High School maintains a strong sense of identity and pride within the community. Students navigate the hallways with both respect and curiosity, aware of the legends but committed to their education. The stories of ghosts and unexplained phenomena have become part of the school's lore, passed down from one generation to the next, forming an unusual but enduring connection between the living and those who may have come before them. Coral Reef Elementary School in Miami, built in the 1960s, has long been more than just a place of learning. Beyond the classrooms, playgrounds, and bustling hallways lies a reputation for inexplicable and eerie occurrences, particularly in the older wings of the building. Over the decades, both staff and students have reported strange phenomena that defy logical explanation, giving the school a haunted reputation that has woven itself into local folklore. Many of the school's teachers recount unsettling experiences, particularly during early mornings or late afternoons when the hallways are quiet. One of the most common reports is the sound of faint laughter echoing through the corridors, even when no children are present. The laughter is soft, almost childlike, and seems to come from places where no one should be. Teachers working alone in their classrooms have described hearing it drift from the hallways, sometimes just outside the door, only to vanish when investigated. The sound has a distinct quality, playful yet haunting, as though it belongs to children from another time. Custodial staff and maintenance workers have also reported experiences that contribute to the school's eerie reputation. Cold spots are frequently noted in certain areas of the building, often accompanied by flickering lights or the sensation of being watched. These phenomena seem concentrated in the older sections of the school, where the walls are thick and the floors creak under even the lightest steps. Some staff have described walking through hallways where the temperature drops suddenly, their breath visible in the air, only to find the area perfectly normal moments later. Flickering lights often occur simultaneously, further amplifying the unsettling atmosphere. Students, particularly younger ones, have occasionally described seeing fleeting silhouettes at the edges of their vision. These figures appear briefly, sometimes resembling other children, and vanish when attention is focused on them. Reports of doors opening or closing by themselves and objects shifting slightly have also been documented, though they are often dismissed as the quirks of an older building. Nevertheless, for those who experience these moments firsthand, they leave an impression that lingers long after the incident. One of the most intriguing aspects of Coral Reef Elementary's paranormal activity is the apparent presence of childlike spirits. Many locals speculate that these are the lingering souls of students who once attended the school decades ago. Some say that these spirits are playful, responsible for the laughter heard throughout the hallways and the occasional mischief reported by teachers and staff. Others believe that the figures glimpsed in fleeting silhouettes may be echoes of past events, residual energy from moments frozen in time within the school's walls. Even the playgrounds have been noted as sites of strange occurrences. During quieter hours, some visitors report hearing the distant sound of children playing, though the grounds are empty. Swing sets occasionally creak, as if pushed by invisible hands, and the faint patter of footsteps on the gravel has been reported when no one is around. These sounds contribute to the overall sense that the school is a living repository of its own history, with the past lingering in subtle yet perceptible ways. Classrooms, particularly in the older wings, have their own tales of unexplained activity. Teachers have reported chalkboards, writing or erasing faint marks without explanation, papers shifting on desks, and chairs moving as if nudged by unseen hands. Some have even reported the feeling of cold drafts passing over them, accompanied by the inexplicable sense that someone or something is standing nearby. For those who have spent long hours alone in these classrooms, the atmosphere can be both unnerving and mysterious, leaving them questioning whether what they experienced was real or imagined. Parents and former students have contributed to the school's mystique with stories handed down through generations. Alumni often describe experiences from their own childhood, recalling moments when lights flickered mysteriously, shadows moved oddly in corners, or the sound of laughter echoed through empty hallways. Some claim that these occurrences were so frequent that students developed an unspoken understanding of the school's unseen occupants, learning to navigate both the physical and spectral environment of Coral Reef Elementary. Despite the eerie activity, the school remains a functioning educational institution, and its staff work diligently to provide a safe and nurturing environment for students. Administrators acknowledge the stories but emphasize that the reported phenomena have never posed any real threats. Still, the tales persist, and for many who walk the hallways after dark or during quiet moments, the feeling of another presence is undeniable. The combination of historical weight, unexplained sounds, and fleeting apparitions has cemented Coral Reef Elementary's reputation as one of Miami's more intriguing haunted locations. Over time, these experiences have become part of the school's identity, woven into the culture and stories shared by students, staff, and the community. The laughter, shadows, and cold spots serve as reminders of the school's long history and the lives it has touched. Whether the unexplained phenomena or the lingering spirits of former students, echoes of past events, or merely the product of imagination in an old building, the stories continue to capture the fascination of anyone who steps into Coral Reef Elementary. Clearwater High School in Clearwater has a reputation that goes beyond academics and athletics. While the school is known for its bustling classrooms, competitive sports teams, and community events, it has long been whispered that the building harbors something far less ordinary. Reports of unexplained phenomena have circulated among students, staff, and alumni for decades, particularly focusing on the auditorium, gymnasium, and older classroom wings. These stories paint a picture of a school where the past never truly left, where echoes of former students seem to linger, and where the line between the living and the spectral world occasionally blurs. One of the most commonly reported areas of paranormal activity is the gymnasium. Staff members often describe hearing the sound of basketballs bouncing across the court late at night, even when no one is present. The echoes are distinct: the soft dribble, the slap of leather against polished wood, and the distant squeak of sneakers. Custodians working evening shifts have frequently remarked that the noise travels in patterns that mimic real games, as if a team from another time were practicing their plays. On several occasions, chairs and bleachers have been found moved out of place, though there was no logical explanation for their relocation. Some teachers suggest that the gym holds residual energy from past generations of students, particularly those who spent countless hours playing sports and forming lasting bonds with the school. The auditorium also carries its own reputation for hauntings. Former drama students and theater staff recount strange occurrences during rehearsals and late-night maintenance. Some have reported hearing applause or faint murmurs from unseen audiences, as if previous performances were replaying themselves through time. Lights sometimes flicker inexplicably, and stage curtains have been observed shifting as though moved by invisible hands. On rare occasions, a shadowy figure has been seen crossing the stage, disappearing into the walls or backstage area when approached. Staff and students alike describe a feeling of being watched, a subtle but persistent presence that refuses to leave even when the building is empty. Classrooms and hallways throughout the school also contribute to Clearwater High School's eerie reputation. Former students have shared accounts of shadowy figures appearing in windows or vanishing through walls. Doors have been reported opening and closing on their own, and lights often flicker without any electrical cause. Teachers working alone have occasionally felt cold drafts sweep through their rooms, as if an unseen entity were passing by. Some students report fleeting glimpses of figures standing silently at the end of a hallway, only to vanish when they turn for a closer look. These experiences, though brief, leave lasting impressions and have been retold over the years as part of the school's folklore. Several alumni believe that these phenomena are tied to the deep connections former students formed with the school. Some of the most persistent stories involve students who tragically passed away while still enrolled or shortly after graduation. Witnesses claim that their spirits linger within the walls, returning to the places they once knew so well. It is said that these apparitions are not malicious, but instead carry the energy and memories of youth, loyalty, and school pride. Their presence seems tied to the emotional significance of the spaces. The auditorium where plays were performed, the gymnasium where victories were celebrated, and the hallways where friendships were forged. Staff members often note that the activity is more noticeable during certain times of the year. Late evenings, after sporting events, or during school breaks seem to trigger more frequent occurrences. Some speculate that the building's energy is heightened when it is quiet and empty, allowing whatever lingers to make itself known. Teachers who have spent decades at Clearwater High report that these incidents, while unsettling, have become an accepted part of the school's character, a reminder that the building is more than just concrete and classrooms. It is a repository of memories. Students, particularly younger ones, are both intrigued and cautious about the school's haunted reputation. Some seek out the stories as a form of thrill-seeking, daring each other to walk the hallways alone or visit the auditorium after hours. Others admit to feeling uneasy when alone in empty classrooms or hallways, sensing a presence they cannot see but can feel. Over time, these stories have become a rite of passage, a shared cultural experience for students that connects them to the history and legends of Clearwater High. The school's community embraces these tales with a mixture of humor, respect, and caution. Alumni gatherings often include retellings of strange events, each generation adding their own experiences to the growing collection of stories. Maintenance staff and teachers often approach the building's unexplained activity with a pragmatic mindset, ensuring safety and continuity while acknowledging the persistent mysteries that continue to occur. Paranormal enthusiasts have occasionally visited, hoping to document evidence, capturing faint orbs on camera, unexplained shadows, or temperature anomalies that defy scientific explanation. Ultimately, Clearwater High School stands as more than just an educational institution. Its hallways, gymnasium, and auditorium are imbued with a sense of history that transcends time. And the stories of ghostly activity provide a living connection to generations of students who once walked its corridors. Whether the phenomena are the lingering spirits of past students or echoes of memories imprinted on the building, they contribute to an enduring sense of wonder, mystery, and respect for the school's long-standing legacy. Miami Edison Middle School in Miami has earned a reputation that goes far beyond its educational achievements. While the school is known for its programs, sports, and community involvement, it is equally recognized for the persistent tales of paranormal activity that have circulated for decades. Teachers, staff, and students have all reported experiences that defy logical explanation. From flickering lights and slamming doors to eerie presences that seem to follow individuals through the hallways. These reports have made Miami Edison Middle School a focal point for local ghost stories and a destination for those intrigued by the supernatural. One of the most commonly reported phenomena involves the school's hallways. Staff members have often described the unsettling sensation of being watched when the building is empty. Teachers working late hours have recounted hearing footsteps echoing through the corridors, even when no one else is present. Some have reported hearing muffled voices or laughter coming from classrooms long after students and colleagues have left. The sounds are sometimes faint, barely audible, yet distinct enough to send a chill down one's spine. Students, particularly those new to the school, often notice the feeling immediately and report a sense of unease when passing certain hallways or stairwells. Doors slamming on their own is another frequently reported occurrence. Teachers have returned to empty classrooms only to find doors closed or locked, despite having left them wide open. In some instances, multiple doors along the same hallway have been observed to swing shut simultaneously, as if moved by an invisible force. Lights also behave unpredictably, flickering, dimming, or turning off entirely without any apparent electrical malfunction. Some staff have gone so far as to replace bulbs and wiring, only for the same anomalies to recur, further adding to the school's eerie reputation. Students and staff alike have claimed to encounter ghostly apparitions throughout the building. Some of the most vivid reports describe figures dressed in vintage clothing from decades past. These figures are often seen moving through classrooms, standing silently in hallways, or disappearing suddenly when approached. Witnesses report that the apparitions exude a quiet, almost melancholic presence, as if replaying moments from the school's long history. Some teachers have described watching a figure walk across the room, only to vanish into thin air, leaving behind a lingering chill and a sense of something unseen but deeply present. The phenomenon is not limited to isolated locations. Certain classrooms, stairwells, and even the gymnasium have been cited as hotspots for paranormal activity. Staff members note that the occurrences tend to spike during quiet hours, particularly after school events, late evening maintenance, or during school breaks when the building is largely empty. Some speculate that the school's long history contributes to the unusual activity, with the spirits of former students and staff continuing to linger, attached to the places where they spent so much of their lives. Over the years, Miami Edison Middle School has become a subject of fascination for paranormal enthusiasts. Local ghost hunters and researchers have visited the school, hoping to capture evidence of the reported activity. Many have reported capturing strange orbs in photographs, unexplained shadows in videos, and sudden temperature drops in areas known for prior sightings, while skeptics argue that these events can be explained by natural causes or the power of suggestion. The sheer volume of first-hand accounts has solidified the school's haunted reputation. Alumni often share stories that corroborate these experiences. Former students report seeing shadowy figures in familiar areas, hearing voices calling their names, or sensing a presence during visits to their old classrooms. Some describe fleeting visions of children dressed in older uniforms, playing or walking the halls, only to vanish when approached. These shared accounts have created a sense of continuity, a narrative that spans generations and ties together the school's living and spectral history. Many teachers who have worked at Miami Edison Middle School for extended periods note that while the activity can be unsettling, it rarely feels threatening. Instead, the apparitions and unexplained phenomena seem to exist in a state of quiet observation, as if the spirits are reliving their memories or maintaining a watch over the school. Some staff even consider the experiences a unique part of the school's character, an invisible connection to the generations of students who passed through its doors. Students are often warned, half seriously, to be cautious in certain hallways or classrooms, particularly after dark. Ghost stories are shared among peers as a rite of passage, and the tales of apparitions in vintage clothing are passed down from one class to the next. The combination of legend, history, and first-hand experiences ensures that Miami Edison Middle School remains a point of intrigue, attracting those fascinated by the paranormal and the mysteries of the past. Tampa Bay Technical High School in Tampa is more than just a hub for vocational training. It has earned a reputation as one of the city's most haunted educational institutions. With its sprawling campus, multiple buildings, and long history, the school has become a focal point for paranormal reports. Students, teachers, and staff alike have shared experiences that defy explanation. From eerie sounds echoing through empty classrooms to sudden cold drafts and lights that switch on and off without cause. These reports have solidified Tampa Bay Technical High School's status as a location where the past seems to linger, refusing to fade quietly into history. Many of the ghostly accounts originate in the classrooms. Students have described hearing voices whispering in rooms that are completely empty, often during quiet study periods or late evening events. Some have reported hearing their names being called by an unseen presence, while others have recounted the sound of papers shuffling or desks being moved without anyone nearby. These incidents are not limited to a single building. Reports come from different wings of the campus, suggesting a widespread paranormal presence. Lockers have also become notorious for their strange activity. Students claim that lockers will open or slam shut on their own, sometimes in rapid succession, startling anyone nearby. Personal belongings occasionally seem to shift inexplicably, as though handled by invisible hands. Some students have reported seeing faint shadows or movements near locker rows, only for them to disappear when approached. Teachers and staff have noted these occurrences, often confirming that no one is present in the immediate area when the events happen. The school's hallways have become another hotspot for reported activity. Many staff members recount feeling sudden cold drafts, even on warm days, or noticing the air take on an icy, heavy quality in certain corridors. Some have heard footsteps pacing the floors when no students or staff are around, or the echo of conversations that quickly fade away. Students who stay late for extracurricular activities, such as theater rehearsals, band practice, or vocational workshops, frequently report the sensation of being watched. Many describe an almost tangible presence, like someone following them silently from room to room. Lights throughout the school add another layer of mystery. Fluorescent fixtures flicker, dim, or turn off entirely without any electrical malfunction being found. In some cases, lights have reportedly turned on by themselves, illuminating empty rooms in a way that makes the space feel simultaneously inviting and unsettling. Staff who have worked long hours describe the eerie sensation of seeing a light suddenly illuminate a hallway when the building is otherwise completely dark, as if guiding or warning the observer. Legends surrounding Tampa Bay Technical High School often point to former students and teachers who remain tied to the campus. Stories circulate about a teacher who died unexpectedly decades ago, whose spirit continues to wander the halls near her old classroom. Students from past generations are said to linger as well, their presence occasionally felt in workshops, hallways, and even the cafeteria. These spirits are often described as benign but insistent, as though their attachment to the school is too strong to be severed, even by death. Over the years, Tampa Bay Technical High School has drawn the attention of paranormal enthusiasts and local ghost hunters. Investigations have attempted to capture evidence of the reported activity, with some claiming to have recorded unexplained orbs on camera, strange shadows moving across hallways, and sudden drops in temperature in areas known for prior sightings. While skeptics argue that many occurrences could be attributed to drafts, faulty wiring, or the overactive imaginations of students, the sheer number of corroborated reports makes it difficult to dismiss the school's haunted reputation entirely. Alumni have contributed their own accounts, often recounting experiences from decades past. Some describe seeing figures in classrooms they once attended, hearing laughter and footsteps in wings of the school that had long been abandoned, or experiencing chills and unease when returning for visits or reunions. These shared memories connect past and present, creating a living narrative in which the school's spectral residents continue to interact with the living, sometimes subtly, sometimes unmistakably. Despite the eerie tales, many staff members insist that the experiences, while unsettling, rarely feel malevolent. Instead, the presence seems watchful, almost protective, tied to the long history of the school and the people who shaped it. Some teachers joke that the ghosts are keeping an eye on the students' behavior, ensuring that they stay focused and responsible. Others describe the phenomena as a reminder of the school's legacy, a way that the past continues to assert itself in the daily rhythm of education. Students have grown accustomed to the stories, sharing them as part of the school culture. Whispered warnings about haunted classrooms, corridors, and workshops are passed along from class to class, and visiting students are quickly made aware of the areas where paranormal activity is most likely to occur. While the stories are often recounted with a mixture of humor and awe, the underlying tension and respect for the unexplained remain. In essence, Tampa Bay Technical High School exists as a place where the past and present intertwine. Every slamming locker, flickering light, and unexplained draft serves as a reminder that the building carries with it the echoes of generations of students and staff. The spirits of former teachers and students seem to linger in quiet observation, maintaining their presence in the classrooms, hallways, and workshops that were once central to their lives. For those willing to walk its halls late at night or linger in empty classrooms, Tampa Bay Technical High School offers a chilling reminder that some connections, particularly those forged in a place of learning, may never truly fade. Florida's haunted schools are far more than just old buildings. They are silent witnesses to generations of history, tragedy, and lingering spirits. From abandoned elementary schools to active university campuses, the echoes of past students, teachers, and staff continue to whisper through the halls. Whether you are a skeptic or a believer, the stories surrounding these 27 locations serve as a chilling reminder that some spirits never truly leave. The next time you walk down an empty hallway after hours, pay attention to the faint whispers, the unexplained footsteps, and the flickering lights. You might just be sharing the space with those who came before. These haunted schools reveal a side of Florida that is both fascinating and unnerving, where history, tragedy, and the supernatural collide. And for those brave enough to visit, the experience is a haunting journey into the unknown, where every corner might hide a story waiting to be told.